Test, test, 1 through 3. NECC League of Legends Week 5. We've got Lakeland taking on Redbird Varsity in our first match of the night. Good afternoon and welcome into the NECC. It is week 5 of League of Legends here. Fish and Sofchan holding it down tonight. We're going to start off with a pretty interesting match here, Sofchan. We've got Lakeland University taking on Redbird Varsity in our Challengers Midwest Division. And a pair of teams that are looking to turn things around after some slowish starts this season. Plenty of time to make that playoff push, and a win today would be a great way to start that.
Absolutely, Fish. So happy to be here tonight casting some more Challengers League Midwest. So we have the records for Lakeland University for 2-2 right now, whereas Redbird Varsity are 1-3. So Redbird really should be wanting to get that win here to try to equalize that place in the group, because we know what's the level of gameplay coming from these teams. And it's around Diamond, Master, High Platinum. So it's going to be good regardless. It goes down to Redbird to try and pick up the pace there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you bring up the skill level, because when you just take a quick peek at the players, maybe seems like Redbird might be the more skilled ones, but they're struggling as we take a look at the lineups here. Starting with Lakeland University, we've got Risp Einstein in the top lane, Popcorn in the jungle, Padawan in the mid, Galaga at the bot lane, and then Online Gamer in the support role. Couple of freshmen who they've got some games under their belt now, Sofchan, and this is probably where these talented freshmen are going to start maybe popping off now that they kind of get the feel of college, balancing everything. Be very curious to see. Meanwhile, for Redbird Varsity, it is an upperclassman lineup across the board. Juniors for everybody in every position. We've got Caramel in the top lane, Frank the Tank in the jungle, Eskimo Lizard in the mid lane, Justin number 1 down on that 80 carry role, and Chill Bloke in the support. So maybe the more talented lineup according to the ELO, maybe the more, experienced lineup, but Redbird Varsity, as you said, struggling a bit at 1-3. They need a big win here tonight to start to turn things around.
Yes, they do. And we are going into a best of 3 tonight. Of course, every game in NECC League of Legends is going to be that. And I believe that we have our draft ready to go soon enough, so we can have a look at what these teams are going to be picking, what is going to be the bans, and that we have it. Starting on the left side, we have Lakeland University. On the right side, the red side, Redbird Varsity. Well, that's very fitting.
It is fitting indeed. Of course, they did pro draft off screen, so of course, if some of the picks are kind of weird, why are you picking a mid laner after? Why are you banning mid laners after the pick? That is why. So be curious. So the Anivia ban right away for the side of Lakeland. Definitely a very interesting ban, a very big control mage, something that is just so painful to play against. Even when you have an early lead, Anivias can stall the game, help your team get back in it. So I do like that ban away. They definitely want to make sure Esco Blizzard can't just stall out that game.
Yeah, they're going for the top laners there for the Fiora and Aatrox. I think that's very interesting. I don't know if I've seen that much Fiora recently, but definitely Aatrox has been a little present, well, at least a little more than Fiora, but Maokai really so dominant all throughout these games recently, topping up with Kassadin and Olaf and Lissandra on the blue side. What are you thinking? What are you thinking so far, Fish?
I like the Olaf pick. We've seen a ton of Maokai in just our games on the NECC over the last few weeks. So I think the Olaf is a very interesting one. It's probably one of the few junglers that can duel this Maokai, because you're going to have that innate lifesteal early on. If you want to look for an invade, you can keep yourself alive through that Maokai healing. That's the one thing that I think really is going to be, is this Olaf a good counter pick? Of course, the Kassadin kind of fits that Anivia mold where, it's going to scale up, but once it scales, it's going to do a lot more damage than Anivia ever could dream of as we get into our bot lane picks. And we have a Seraphine 80 carry, which
I mean,
I don't know if I'm a big fan.
Let's talk about this. Okay, so everybody in chat, this man, Fish, doesn't like Yumi, doesn't like Seraphine APC. This man doesn't like enchanters overall.
I like good old-fashioned 2012 League of Legends. You've got someone with ranged physical damage in the bot lane like Varus. I like myself some old-school League of Legends. I think that the bigger thing is the Seraphine, I'm used to Seraphine's setup, which is just one of those very oppressive lanes. I think the Swain is an interesting pick aside it, Sofchan. It's more of that aggressive support, so it'll be interesting to see if, maybe we try and give Online Gamer some kills, or, kind of curious, but I just think that at the end of the day, if you have a physical 80 carry and you get ahead, you're going to do so much more damage than if a Seraphine gets ahead. And I think that, looking at the side of Redbird's varsity, they have 3 separate champions. If they get ahead, they're just going to one-shot everyone on the team. And that's my big concern for Lakeland right now, and probably why I would have liked a more traditional AD carry.
Yes, I can definitely go by that as well. To be fair, we had a couple of the classic picks for bot lane there, Ben. We had the Ezreal Misfortune as well. Of course, Aphelios is more recent if we're talking about 2012 League of Legends, but still more classic, of course, if we're talking about ADCs in general. But I believe that maybe Seraphine is going to be serving a more different type of role there. She's going to be enabling the other damage dealers as Fiora, Olaf, and Lissandra. I think combo Lissandra ulti with Seraphine as well, the Encore hitting everybody. You manage to get not only the person that Lissandra ultied on, but also the people next to them to stay in place and take the damage from that ice shards. There is going to be really good. Also with Swain going in top and jungle there, I think there's good potential here, but definitely is super different from your traditional bot lane where you have Varus like that and Renata. I really, really enjoy. I think it could be a good counter if you can land that ulti just before Seraphine lands an Encore. Could be the turning of tides for Redbird varsity in a team fight 5v5. So yeah, I think we have plenty of opportunities here, Fish, for both teams.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually bring up the Renata ult, because not only does it do a good job maybe like counteracting the Seraphine ults you mentioned, but you have 2 champions on this Lakeland side that if they just get an auto attack, they're going to absolutely kill people, and that is Fiora and Olaf. If you get hit by that hostile takeover and Popcorn starts just kind of slapping away at Padawan or Galaga, there's a chance that Olaf's just going to kill somebody. Same with Fiora. So you do have some pretty high counterplay. I do say the one thing, you got a Fiora, you got an Olaf. You mentioned the Seraphine, maybe kind of hinting that it might be more of that support APC where you're just going to be more healing. You also have a Swain as well. Somebody needs Grievous Wounds on this Redbird's varsity side ASAP, and it can't be the Maokai, because if it's the Maokai, they're going to build Thornmail. Just don't attack the Maokai. It's that simple. So maybe an early Oblivion Orb for Monada Glass is probably where I'm leaning. Kassadin has a very specific build, so that's my one concern is Redbirds, you got to pay that early Grievous Wound tax, or you're just not going to kill anybody.
Yeah, Executioner Scalding, of course, could be a good opportunity there for Varus as well. Sometimes, at least when I'm playing ADC in solo queue, and I have a bot lane like Seraphine and Senna, as you mentioned, or Swain in this case, it would be good to get that first back with the Grievous Wounds. But I'm not a Master Diamond player like these players are, so don't trust me so much on that one. But yes, definitely, they need the Grievous Wounds because the potential of healing coming from Lakeland is massive. And even though they have the possibility of getting the Renata Glass, perfect ulti on everyone, it's something that has to be on a perfect timing. It's not like you hit every ulti and it's going to be fine, like a Leona ulti or something like that. It's not that instant. So you need to have that coordination and communication with your team to be able to pull all that off. So after all, I believe both teams have good comms. You just have to be very attentive on what you choose to do early game, because I think that's going to be the most decisive moment of the match.
Well, as we're about ready to hop into game number 1, we've talked about the draft. Who you favorite here, Soph-Chan? Who you got in game 1, Lakeland or Redbird varsity?
Oh, I think there are just so many good things that can be done from both sides. I can picture amazing plays, as we mentioned, from Renata or Seraphine on the other side. I would die if I saw Olaf getting hit by the hostage takeover and just sniping down everyone on that team. It would be hella funny. So I don't know if I have a preference here. It's just going to be a good match, and I'm just gonna stay at that.
Hey, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to see, especially in those first few minutes. How well does the Olaf do into that Maokai? We've seen a ton of Maokais, and I think in most of our games, the Maokais have won Soph-Chan, so maybe that favors Redbirds, at least when we're casting. But we'll have to see as we hop into game number 1 here in this Challengers Midwest Showdown. Lakeland University coming in at 2-2. Redbird Varsity's coming in at 1-3. Who's going to pick up the win in this Week 5 showdown? And early on in game 1, very passive from everybody as we get in the first 45 seconds or so.
Yes, we do. Only one ward in the river there, top side, coming from Red Varsity. And yeah, I think that's just it so far. So I think we have some time to talk about some skins. What do you think, Fish? I am just so in love with any Coven skins. Lysandra has one. Look at that all-star, all out KDA skin on Seraphine. Look at that. Precious.
I do love the all-out Seraphine skin. We haven't got a chance to see Olaf if Popcorn's running the Broloff, which, hey, that's a 2012 shout-out if I've ever seen one.
Oh
but
my
still
God, so
one
good.
of my favorite skins of all time. So, you know, if that's in the game, I don't think there's a competition here. Yeah. I mean, you know, I know the new skins are shinier, they're flashier like the KDA all out, but I gotta see my man Broloff in here. If you don't have Broloff, I'm gonna be sad, very sad.
Popcorn, where is our Brolaf? Let's see. Whenever we get a view on that jungler there, we're gonna figure this out. But we have seen here how Redbird just started on the blue side here, and they're going to go down. Blue team Lakelands are just waiting, fake leashing right there, going back to lane as if they were on the red buff with Olaf, but they're not. So nothing fancy so far, Fish.
Yeah, nothing really too crazy. Both junglers started on opposite sides, so we won't have, I would assume, an Olaf Maokai showdown here, unless Popcorn maybe tries for an invade. We do see Resp and Caramel get into a little bit of a fight, but both those champions have a ton of lifesteal, a ton of sustain, so they're not really going to be too worried. The Vital, unfortunately, on the backside here for this Fiora, and takes a tower shot.
No.
It was a very risky play for Resp.
Yes, it was, and unfortunately it didn't pay off with that tower shot hitting them as well, and not even getting the damage in the Vital, as you mentioned, is not something you want to see. But, well, everybody just farming pretty regularly, no invades going on. Both junglers are looking for a almost full clear on that jungles. Olaf is going for more of that. Mid lane, Lysandra taking a little bit of advantage on the range there with against Kassadin Eskimo. And we might see a gank happening on the top here with Maokai.
Ooh, can't quite get out of the Infernal Chains. That's probably going to be a death. Nice parry there. There's just too much CC. Rest going to try and flash away. Is going to get slowed by that red buff, though. The Q2 going to be able to slow him down enough at his first blood over to Caramel. Just got caught by that Infernal Chain Soap Chan, and after that, there was nothing that Rest could do.
Yeah, so really taking advantage of that possible engaging potential that Caramel has on Aatrox, followed by Frank the Tank on Maokai, just allowing to get that easy first blood. It was really nice. We saw how Rasp was super advanced on that lane. Popcorn just showing up here, hi! In mid lane, just going for that scuttle here, top river, and good job there from Redbird to take advantage of that, well, advanced positioning from Rasp and Stein.
Popcorn does get the double scuttle off onto Frank the Tank, though of course the scuttle's nerfed at the start of the season, so not as big of an advantage as he would usually get, but that is kind of where that one glaring CS lead is starting to pop up. Is, ooh, we're going to get a little bit of a jungle invade here. Popcorn going to throw the axe out. The Bramble Smash goes down as well. Neither mid laner really opting to rotate over quite yet. Kassadin, very weak pre-6, really very weak pre-11, so I don't know how much Eskimo Lizard's going to be able to help. It ends up being both junglers agree to walk away, some chickens probably traded out, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, definitely nothing too crazy, but I believe that after that trade, we had a Popcorn guaranteeing a couple of those stealing, the stealing on those chickens, because they are up 9 CS on Frank the Tank, so even though it wasn't much of a fight, it was successful for Lakeland's jungle there. Wow, and speaking of successful, the pressure Lysandra is putting Padawan on Eskimo is really paying off as they have to go back to base. They have TP, so they might probably pop it here after getting a reset so they don't lose anything. It's going to crash though. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, both looks like Padawan's going to get a reset. Curious if Padawan will opt to use that teleport since the wave is crashing, and Lysandra does have quite a bit of mobility, and actually, yeah, he'll just use it. But again, this is kind of the gameplay when you pick a Kassadin. You just have to survive the early game. Pre-6, you're incredibly squishy, as we do see Rest going to do a great represent onto that Infernal Chain, lands the stun as well. Great job.
Really, really great. Ras Feinstein showing that they have the proficiency on Fiora. The parry was very, very nice to watch. But Caramel is pushing really hard on this wave here, and it's probably going to crash because you don't want to fight a 1v1 with a wave this size. And Caramel is going to go for it as well. Another beautiful parry, allowing Rasp to stay safe and just farm on the tower.
Oh, a double root is going to land on a Justin #1. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. Looks like he's just holding on to the flash. But now he uses it maybe a bit too late. Is Online Gamer forced to flash away.
Wow.
They'll trade 1-for-1. Both AD carries picking up a kill. Meanwhile, mid lane, no chance for Padawan to get away. Chill Blow. Is he going to survive? No, he will not. It's a double kill for Galaga in the bot lane. And Lakeland gets on the board, but they do lose one in the mid as well.
What was that trade then? It was 2 kills for Seraphine. Varus ended up getting 1, which was really nice for them because, as you said, I was looking at them holding off on that flash and I was like, when are you gonna use it? Because they were really, really in trouble, and then maybe at the end of the day, they should have just not used this since they were going to die anyways. But definitely a good trade for Lakeland as they guarantee not only the double kill on Seraphine, but also... Oh no, it actually was Lissandra that died, right? Yeah, so it was an equalizer for both teams. There we go.
Yeah, 2 for 2 overall, 2 for 1 in the bot lane. We do see immediately Rest popping the Fiora. That is very aggressive. The World End is going to be popped as well. Frank the Tank's going to come in and end up picking up the kill, but that was just an aggressive play top lane, and I don't think Rest was going to win that 1v1 either.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and they didn't have vision anyways from the river or the tri-bush there, so very, very risky indeed, and it didn't pay off, and that's how it works with risky plays. It's either going to be fantastic or you're going straight to base. So in this case, it was a win for Redbird Varsity. Now with a 2-kill lead on the board, while this bot lane is pushing pretty aggressively here, and Galaga doesn't even care about that.
Get 1 root to the land. Online Gamer still not 6, does not have that demonic ascension. Huge snipe from Justin #1, hits level 6, gets the ult and the root. Meanwhile, Padawan gonna flash in, does get the frozen tomb. It's immediately cleansed, but it looks like Justin will go down to Popcorn. But he'll gladly trade that 2 for 1 bot lane just for himself. That's 2 more kills for that Varus.
Yeah, and once again, Redbird stabilized the game in the double of kills that Lakeland has. So pretty good job there, but also nice from Popcorn to be around. I think, who else was around? Padawan was also there.
Yep.
To guarantee that they had the control over the area and not allow them to go unpunished. But I believe it was a little too much, just like Fiora did on top lane, that we had Galaga and Online Gamer being so advanced when we had a big wave from the red side shoving in. So very interesting, especially since you were just on the verge of seeing Justin get their ultimate. It was, yeah, I think it was a bit of a miscalculation once again from Lakeland.
And not having level 6, you're going to see Padawan going to get jumped on there, but we'll be able to Glacial Path away as Frank the Tank peeked his little tree head onto the screen, but wasn't able to get in range. And you talked about this last time Resp died. There is no vision up here, Sochan. There is no way for this Fiora to know that Frank the Tank is coming up. We'll have to see if they can pull up a gank. Meanwhile, bot lane, Popcorn is here. Justin's going to try and jump right on top of Galaga. The Encore goes out, and Galaga will go down. Hostile takeover going to be used. Trying to kite away. His Online Gamer does have the Ignite. He's able to create some space. Meanwhile, Fiora did die top lane. And Chill Bloke not able to get to the tower. Trying to kite this Olaf, but I think one more...
Oh, and they give up.
What? 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 What?
Oh my god. Oh, I really hope that doesn't affect in the late game. If that little given on that kill is not going to affect Popcorn as much, because that was really funny. As you were saying, it looked like a pretty easy takedown on Chill Bloke. Unfortunately, they decided to just back off. Fish, what happened there?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't have vision on Eskimo Lizard, so to give Popcorn the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to assume he thought Eskimo Lizard was there. Now, I will say, Chillbloke did have rank 2 boots, so maybe just assumed, look, I can't catch him. I don't have vision in the jungle. But I think we just got to give mainly a shout out to Chill Bloke. I thought he had kind of just accepted death when he ran away from his tower. That was some excellent kiting, excellent use of the root and push on that Renata glass. And yeah, I mean, because right now you look across the board, Popcorn's 2-0-1. He's kind of the carry. Imagine this is a 3-0-1 Olaf. What could be the difference? But instead, he doesn't have that kill as the Chains of Corruption are going to land underneath the tower. Heal going to be used. But unfortunately, can't quite get in range to finish off Galaga.
Yes, Redbirds are taking that pressure that they built up with those kills. Once again, we have 4 versus 8 kills on the board, so double for Redbird, and they're using it to their advantage, as actually we see Popcorn going in really deeply here. It's not going to be enough to save Varus, the resurrection from Renata Glass, but it's enough to keep them alive for a little longer. 3v1 turns into a 3v2, but Padawan is not going to commit on this one because it's going to be really dangerous. They are outnumbered, and Redbird, as I was saying, they are going in. They're going deep fish here.
Yeah, Eskimo Lizard almost got caught by the grip there by Online Gamer, but just barely able to survive tower aggro, so it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Redbirds, taking down Galaga and Popcorn. And somehow, Justin just has this weird ability to get killed as he's dying. Of course, I know with the Varus Q, you can kind of get some long-range snipes, but that's like the 3rd time now he's died as he's killed Galaga, and now he's 5-4 on this Varus, and this is what I talked about. So, Chan, you've got a Fed 80 carry versus a kind of fed AP support champion. I think the Redbirds have a lot more damage right now on that bottom side.
Oh, they definitely do, and they know that. That's why they're pushing so much fish. I believe that knowing they have the pressure, not only in range, but in damage, you have that shield bow on the Varus completed already, so first mythic on their hands, while Seraphine Galaga is trying to get that first item going. So is Swain. So they're pushing their advantage as much as they can, and they're doing a great job at it because they know this is the good moment for them to do so.
Nice route on a Chill Bloke as we get the twisted advance there. The nice double CC with the hostile takeover. Meanwhile, Ragnarok gonna be popped. The Popcorn gets popped instead. Now it's Eskimo Lizard gets a great silence, a huge encore, but Chill Bloke barely alive, and he's just simply going to walk away. A 3-for-0 around the Dragon Pit, and Online Gamer just has to blast code away. That is an Ocean Dragon and a whole lot more over to the Redbirds.
I can't believe that encore was actually so good, but Justin, who was the one person, the most important person to go down on that fight, just had a sleazy sidestep on that. I really thought it was going to hit and that they were going to get killed, but they managed to stay alive, and they knew that the rest of the team was good enough to take down Galaga as they were trying to escape, and they guarantee the Equalizer Drake, the Ocean there for themselves. And I am really liking what we're seeing here from Redbird, once again increasing that kill lead on the board. Also 5k gold ahead. It's looking nice for them.
Yeah, they're in a great spot, and as you pointed out, they understand that, hey, look, Justin #1, very far ahead, especially in terms of damage. I mean, you only have 1 mythic completed on the side of Lakeland. Everybody has their mythic item done for the Redbirds, including the support. That rarely happens, but when that does, that means you're so far ahead. You can take these fights. And I will say, Popcorn, he's just playing so aggressive, and I know he has to. He realizes, if I kill Justin, this can maybe be an even fight, but he's all the damage. So him going down early in like a 1v3 situation, it just kind of costs Lakeland the rest of their damage. And we will get a Cloud Soul, by the way, for the rest of the game, which I'm sure neither team super pumped about because it's, it's movement speed. No one gets hyped about movement speed except Heck remains.
That's very true. But I think Fish may be a good possibility for Lakeland here in regards to Popcorn using that damage to their advantage. Would be maybe a flank, just a counter gank, because I agree with you, they have to be aggressive. Well, at this point, as you said, they're just dying before the fight even starts, so that's not even good enough. And fighting here on the top lane is popping off as Caramel, I think, up their ulti then? No, they didn't. That's fine. But they were really aggressive, as they should be, because if you have that much damage, you need to go on, and the ulti from Varys is going to get on Seraphine, but it's not enough to take them down quickly because Justin number one is still there, popping off as they guarantee a double kill for Chill Bloke themselves. Fish, this is looking just so good for Redbird all around.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic ult there by Chill Bloke as well. I believe that's what ended up killing Galaga was the hostile takeover, forced Padawan and online gamers to both attack their APC. And now Lakeland's getting a little bit too aggressive, right? They understand they need to make plays on the Justin, but they can't just throw out. They had no vision in that bush. They threw out all of their ultimates, the Encore. They're trying to get in range for a Frozen Tomb, and they walk right into Chill Bloke. I think they maybe need to just slow it down a little bit, farm up with the Fiora, farm up with Popcorn, because right now they don't have the gold to be able to take any of these fights.
Yes, exactly. And when we were talking about gold, it immediately translates to items, and that's what is going to make the difference in the team fights. Of course, you have the level, it's going to be always important, but you need the completed items, and as we pointed out, there are still just one completed mythic item on the side of Lakeland for Popcorn. So really, you're not going to win any fights when almost all of the champions on the side of Redbird have at least a 150 gold bounty, and Aatrox is almost there just by farming alone.
I mean, looking at the items, finally the Leandris does get finished here by Galaga, but Galaga rushed the Oblivion Orbit. And,
they did.
Yes, Maokai has some very strong passive healing. Yes, Caramel on the Aatrox has some strong healing. We haven't even seen Caramel in a fight, but you can't set your first mythic item back at another 1,000 gold. Just a bit of a weird itemization, as you said, no one else. There's a lot of books on the side of Lakeland there with their mid laner and their support.
Yeah.
They just need raw damage. They need a farm. We need to ban team fights for Lakeland for like 10 minutes.
Exactly. That's what they need to do, Fish. They have to stay more patient, as you mentioned. They have to be, okay, we're doing a little bit of poke. That's fine. Galaga, you have the range. You can do that. The rest of the champions in your team, they cannot. So Galaga is going to be the one to farm from a distance, take the poke here and there, and that's how they need to play it. Because, as we were talking, gold translates into items, translates into raw damage in those team fights. And you have good moves. You have Lissandra's ulti, you have Encore, you have Swain being super powerful, and Popcorn being able to hunt anybody down. But you have to be able to get in and kill people. Because if you just go in and you don't do enough, your champions are going to be on the abilities from your champions are going to be on cooldown, and it's not going to be enough that auto attacks are going to be able to do. Actually, the only thing the auto attacks are going to be able to do is be hit by Renata Glass ulti and attack your teammates. That's all.
That's a good start right there, right? They concede the Cloud Dragon, of course, kind of realizing, look, it's a Cloud Dragon. I don't need to fight over it. It's not going to give too big of an advantage to the Redbirds. Maybe pick up this one and the next one. Then we can fight over Cloud Soul at 29 minutes as the Chains of Corruption does miss there from Justin, because you've held onto your mid tower. We do see a great shifted advanced Bramble Smash onto Popcorn. Has to pop the Ragnarok, but just walk away. Just walk away. We don't need to fight this, Lakeland, as they use the Encore. Here comes the Maokai ult. That, unfortunately, is going to be a pick onto Galaga. But the rest of Lakeland survived, and they mostly listen. They mostly listen to it.
Yeah, we're halfway there. It's the first game of the series, best of 3, so they have at least another game if they don't pick up the pace in this one. And there's something that we have noticed, Fish, all throughout the game is how they are going in, like head first, no vision, no wards. Yeah. Give me the wards. You have. Okay, that's getting a little better now. But do you see how the presence from Vision coming from Redbird is all over, not just the river, but on the blue side of the map? You have the pressure from them being confident because they took down the outer turrets that they can do so. But they should have done that from the start, like Lakeland should have had those wards coming to not see Rasp getting caught out and ganked without vision.
We're going to get a gank up on the top side here. Undertow is going to go out. Caramel going to dash and flash away. The grand challenge has been procced. All 4 vitals have been picked up here by Rest. Caramel just going to go down under their tower. Finally, Lakeland gets a nice pick They used that lack of vision we've been harping them for against Caramel, who had no idea the jungler was there.
Exactly. And, well, I hope that helps. I hope they see that they really need to play around those types of situations. No vision, go in. Counter gank, go in. Try to peel off, kite them away. You have the Ice Shard from Padawan, you have the Poke from Gallagher, from Swain as well. You have the Axis from Popcorn. You can kite people away. You can literally peel fights off and stall them until you have enough gold in your pocket and items in your bag to be able to fight back.
Alright, all it takes is maybe one team fight for Lakeland once they find that those gold, those items. I mean, look, there's 4 bounties on the table for the Redbirds. There's objective bounties up across the map, so you maybe get a tower or 2 after a 1-team fight. There's ways to get back in. We are going to see the Nature's Rash is going to immediately be used. Shirelia's popped as well.
Oh,
the Encore used just to disengage. And it should be enough for Lakeland to survive the double ult use there by the Redbirds.
I mean, yeah. It's just, Encore's cooldown is so huge. Are you really going to try and pick off just one Maokai, everybody? Oh, okay. We got the hostile popped there as well. As Padawan also ulties on Chill Bloke. It's so close to dead, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, Sonya, beautiful deathwish.
Oh, but now here comes the rest of the damage for the Redbird. Popcorn trying to kill Frank the Tank, but he lives up to his name. He survives. World Ender used here by Caramel. Can't quite get in range. Justin throwing off the auto attacks on this 6-4-10 Varus, and in the end, it just goes down to be a 3-for-1 in favor of the Redbirds. Now you're going to lose your mid-tier 1 tower, which makes more of your jungle accessible by the Redbirds, and they started out so well, and then they dived to Maokai, and it all fell apart.
You're like, why chase the Maokai? It's a Maokai.
Yeah,
it's not like you're going to pick them off super quickly.
No.
You're going to be chasing them for a while, and of course the rest of the team was going to follow up. Like, it was a clear bait. It really was.
Yeah, that was an excellent play by Frank the Tank. As you said, pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's gonna take so long. Even if it wasn't a bait, the whole team could have got it right. Especially with the Kassadin, who has teleport. Caramel almost has Frank the Tank. We've seen Maokai's live for insane amount of times in our games together on the NECC this year, Sofjan. You just dial it back like a little bit, Lakeland. You're doing so well, and then you just, like, again, don't even fight over this dragon. I hope we don't even see him over this dragon. They're going to try and get a pick onto Eskimo Lizard. The Encore goes off. Rift walk away. They do pick up a huge shutdown.
Nice.
Here comes Caramel, and it's not over yet. Even in a 4v5, I think there's still more gold on these 4 members for the Redbird.
Yes, and we actually have Lakeland dominating this area here. Oh, but Redbird is gathering around on the Baron pit. They have the vision, they have the pink wards. They're going to take that down pretty quickly. I don't know if the blue team can arrive that in time. Oh, it's so close to that. The Beast Might is going to be enough, and they take it. I hope Alessandro doesn't go in, and Padawan decides to not do so. Amazing. Great job. Redbird. I like that. I really like that.
It does look like Lakeland actually ended up pulling off of the dragon, so they'll have to restart. I do think with the Redbirds backing to reset Baron, they're not going to be able to contest it. That was definitely a risky play to not just trade the, again, Cloud Dragon for the Baron. Doesn't feel great, but you get that objective bounty, you get that bonus gold, the gold lead 7k, but you haven't fallen too far behind. It's been about 5 or 6k for the last 8 or so minutes, which is kind of where you want it to be. You want to catch up on items, you want to catch up on your builds. Because right now, I mean, you pick support Swain, 25 minutes in the game, Subshan, they still don't have a mythic item. That's going to be a big problem. Finally finished it, by the way, as I was saying it. I was not crazy, chat. They did just finally finish it.
Yes, we do trust our fellow caster fish. He's amazing. And Popcorn, please don't get picked off here. Okay, Padawan is around and able to help disengage. Cassid and Eskimo there is pushing on the bottom lane. I like the distribution of forces splitting into the areas of the map here. I think Well, as much as Lakeland can do right now, I think they're keeping up.
And we've talked a lot about Lakeland. We'll have to see maybe Resp, Einstein. Is he going to be able to stay alive? Yes, he will. He'll just dash out, but that probably will mean a blue buff over to Redbird. And so I do want to turn the question on you, Subchan. What do you want to see from the Redbirds here? Hold on, give me a second as we do see maybe a dive going to go out onto Caramel. Popcorn and Rest going to jump right on top of him. World Ender going to be used. Flash over the wall. Chill Bloke is there. They disengage. So what do you want to see from the Redbirds here? They've been in control the whole game, but what do you want to see from them to end this game?
No, I want to see them do that. I want to see the chain of ultis. I want to see the chain CC. Oh, the arrows, the snipes onto all the champions on the side of Lakeland. I think that's what they need to do. They have the Baron buff. They have the damage. They have the levels. They have everything. And in this case for sieging, they have the range as well for Pope. So that's what they need to do. They have it really nice with Aatrox and Kassadin on the side lanes. The rest of the team pushing in the middle. So it's always going to be a split attention from Lakeland to try to defend. Of course, it's supposed to be the most important one, the mid turret there. And it's getting popped pretty quickly as Einstein try to get an engage on just the number one. But the protection coming from Chillbloke and Asko and Frank the Tank is a lot. But Caramel's going for a 1v1 right now.
Yeah, Popcorn walked right over a ward. We talked about vision all game long, so Caramel was ready for it. And here comes the squad. Eskimo gonna go in. There is the hostile takeover. Lands onto two. An online gamer is already dead. The Baron buff has faded, so those minions not gonna be super powerful. Try to take the base, but now the mid inhibitor turret has gone down. This should be a free mid inhibitor for the Redbirds, and they are just pushing their advantage just like you wanted them to.
Yes, because, well, right now they don't even need the minions, you know, to take down the inhibitors there. That Varus is solid enough to do the job. So Redbirds is really managing to not only take that advantage from the early game, but grasp onto it and carried it all the way out through, right now, almost 30 minutes onto the clock. I didn't even notice that much time passing, but it's 22 kills versus 8 in almost a 10k gold lead for Redbirds, and all of those towers in the control of the blue base altogether.
Redbirds have not lost a tower yet. All three tier 1s are somewhat low, and again, objective bounties still active, so I mean that's over 700 gold that Lakeland could pick up right there if they're able to kind of chain killing all of those towers. But as you said, the gold lead 10k and now up to maybe even 11k. That means this next Dragon Fright is going to be so heavily favored into the side of Redbirds. I don't even know if Lakeland can really attempt to fight it because you've still got Caramel split pushing on that top side. They're going to have to choose if they want to defend the base or try and fight over a dragon. I think you got to just try and defend your base at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only possibility aside from defending the base is sending Popcorn for a Chicky Steal. Just that. If they die, that's fine. You know, you still have the rest of the team defending the base, and you have to stall as much as you can to get that inhibitor back to be able to avoid the super minions. But they're still going on for those fights. At least this time, there isn't nobody around. And, well, it's just by luck because they don't have the vision.
Yeah, the great warding by Caramel, putting on really like a master class, except for a couple of, one death there where he didn't have vision, put on a great master class of exactly what he needs to do. Is now Resp and Caramel gonna duke this one out. Nice represent on the Infernal Chain. And Resp will hold on to this grand challenge for now. These top laners duking it out. The dragon has spawned, and looks like Lakeland will heed our warnings and simply stay away. The bigger concern now, Sochan, comes. Baron's up in 10 seconds. And I think this is exactly where Lakeland has to try and make their last stand.
Yeah. Yes, agreed. This is the only possibility for them now. It has to be a good pick-off. I like that positioning here, but they don't have that much vision. Maokai throws in the potato, spots everyone. Also, the vision current there is going to be popped as well. And, well, I want to see pink wards. I want to see detection. I want to see true vision. So they actually manage to pinpoint where Redbirds are so they can do a good team fight. Because if Redbirds has the upper hand, and they go in first, I think they have the win.
First are going to start up the Baron. Teleport on the top side of your screen for Caramel, who just came back from base. Pretty much everything up for everybody. As the Baron falls before we can even see Lakeland on the screen now. This is going to be a very tough defense. You've got super minions pushing in that mid lane. Ooh, Rest barely gets out. And
Sheesh.
you're asking a lot for Lakeland, but they've got to defend for the next 3 minutes against Baron empowered waves in every lane. It looks like it's going to be another 1-3-1 split here for the Redbirds.
Yeah, 1-3-1 indeed, and I think that's the best option for them. Actually, if they could just take one of the side lanes and then rotate full on mid, but they're going to be a little more careful, a little more cautious, and I like that. I appreciate it. Rasp trying to get a corner on the red team. I don't know if there's any escape here. It would have to be a full-on miracle fish.
Yeah, they're going to get maybe one more team fight under their towers, so they'll kind of have that tower damage to help boost them if they try and jump onto Frank the Tank. He is forced to blast away. The Shirelli is popping a great prostitute there. Onto Padawan trying to stay alive. Teleport now coming in from Eskimo Lizard. He wants to jump on the back line, but he's going to get charmed up by the Encore. He goes down. Caramel going to fall here as well. Maybe this game's not quite over yet.
Look
You
at
see
that.
Frank the Tank very low. They pick up another kill, but they got to be careful. They're at low health bars. And Justin, number 1, trying to get a snipe. Just simply can't get in range here.
Oh, fish. Interesting. How I didn't quite manage to pick how Eskimo died so quickly. As you said, it was the Encore right just below the tower. So really nice Gallagher there, guaranteeing that the big assassin from Redbird was not going to be able to take anybody down. Of course, we have just number 1, we have Varus, but it's a little different. It's an ADC, the other one is a mage assassin. So really, really nice. I loved that priorities there on waiting to use the Encore from Seraphine to prevent Cassidon from going in on them. I like that. I think that was good, and well, it did save them another team fight at least.
Took off Baron on 3 members of the Redbirds. Got a shutdown as well. 300 extra gold in Gallagher's pocket for a kill onto Frank the Tank, but that 700 gold shutdown still exists on Justin number 1. The other thing is that fight started before Eskimo Lizard was there. He had to end up teleporting in. I don't think had the greatest position. I think he was teleporting in on a lane minion or a ward that it was not a very good position. As you said, he teleports in immediately. It's an Encore under tower. Basically could not play the game. So big shout out to Padawan, realizing, look, Eskimo Lizard's not there. He started that fight with a great E into the Ring of Frost, and so. But again, as you said, that just buys them one more team fight. They got to do that 4 more times, probably.
Yeah. It's true, but to be fair, we are seeing Redbirds reaching a little bit of a peak. I mean, not yet, because they're mostly, okay, so level 16, 15. Yeah, okay. They're reaching a little bit of a peak for themselves. But Lakeland, they're just catching up on that. So catching up on the itemization, and now it's going to be the moment where Redbird might not expect that they're going to come back with more damage than they did before. So 30 seconds for the next Drake, and it's the soul. It's going to be the soul for Redbirds if they can't do this to defend for Lakeland. Oh my god, fish. I'm getting tense.
I mean, you know, we've memed the poor dragon to death, but it's a Cloud Soul. I mean, honestly, I don't mind if you give it up and you just fight over the other dragon that spawns in another 5 minutes. I mean, because again, as you said, you are reaching a peak here if you're the Redbirds, right? Your AD carry is fully built, which is great for you. But it doesn't mean he's not going to get any more powerful besides this last level he can pick up. Lakeland can start to close the gap. Meanwhile, Lakeland gets just hard baited. They take the dragon, and the Redbirds say, we'll just take the game. They at least get the mid inhibitor. Nobody even started the back. Finally, the dragon goes down. I think the Redbirds maybe could have been a bit more aggressive. They will get that top Nexus turret, or top inhibitor turret, excuse me. They'll try and get the top inhibitor here as well, which they should be able to pick up. And Lakeland kind of fell asleep at the wheel a bit there.
Yeah, I think I will let them be a little too careful, okay?
Yeah.
They noticed how they were being maybe reckless in the beginning of the game with no vision, being too aggressive, Popcorn in particular, because that's the way this champion is supposed to be played. But they know that the game now relies on their placement, relies on these team fights. And if they lose one, it's the end of the game. So I will let them. But I agree with what you said earlier when Redbird started pushing. They could have been even more aggressive. They could have been. They are not the ones that are just one fight away from a loss. Mm-hmm. They have the opportunity to be more aggressive, and I think they could have. Maybe it would have been a game there. But well, we'll see how this is going to play out.
Eskimo Lizard in a great spot. Interruption going to be used. Ragnarok off there. The Everfrost going to miss the Nature Trap. Will find Online Gamer and Popcorn. That is now 2 down once the Olaf falls. And that might be game for Lakeland. As you said, they couldn't afford a single mistake. Now they're out their support and their jungler for the next 40 seconds. And this might be enough for the Redbirds to just simply push for game here. We'll have to see one last stand here for the side of Lakeland. Let's see what their top and APC can do as rest. Force the flash away. Here comes the hostile takeover. Just barely times out. The next towers are exposed. Encore going to whiff. And I think that missed Encore might be the loss of the game, as they're going to lose 2 more. It's all up to Padawan. Into Zanya's. Into the Frozen Tomb on themselves, but all that invulnerability not going to matter. They do pick up 1 Online Gamer here with the Demonic Ascension, but he cannot defend the Nexus. And it is game 1 over to the Redbird varsity here in the Challengers Mini Showdown.
Whew. Okay. This got my blood pumping. It did. I think that was really nice.
It was interesting, right? Because you had Lakeland that was the over-aggressors. They kept fighting. And then the Redbirds, I mean, they had a lead for 15 minutes, and that game still went 38. I mean, they could not have played more calculated outside that one little dragon play. So, definitely a very interesting game number 1 of this series.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was rooting for Lakeland at the end because I was like, I just love rooting for underdogs, and it was clear that Redbird was on top of that game. So I just really wanted to see, we love a comeback. 1 fight away from loss and you turn it around, like that's incredible. So I was a little bit hoping maybe, but yeah, definitely we pointed out so many things all throughout the match that could have been played better from Lakeland. Vision, over-aggression. We talked all about it, and Redbird took advantage of it, as they should. As you said, they could have also finished the game pretty sooner.
Yeah, Redbirds maybe a little bit too calculated. As you said, I think Lakeland, if you fix that vision, a lot of those early deaths go away. Yep. Again, maybe, if you get more of a traditional AD carry, because I do think towards that middle game, Justin number 1 was just pumping out so much damage. It was absolutely absurd. But we'll take a quick break here on the NECC. When we come back, we'll have game 2. Can the Redbirds pick up the sweep, move to 2 and 3, or can Lakeland University get us to a game 3 here in our Challengers Midwest Showdown? We'll find out right after this.
choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? Again, 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 again. Choices you made, did you make them again?
All the choices you made, did you make them again?
Did you make them again? All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again?
I feel so alive. I've never felt this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around, up and down on that stage as your future vibes. Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around, up and down on that stage as your future vibes.
Welcome back in here to the NECC. We've got Game 2 in our Challengers Midwest Showdown here between Lakeland University and Redbird's varsity. Fish and Sofchan here, calling all up the action, getting ready to hop into our Game 2 draft. And again, we talked about a lot of things that I think Lakeland, easy fixes really, Sofchan. Better warding, maybe a little bit improving in the draft, maybe just pulling off the accelerator a little bit when you realize it's a lost fight. So I got to ask you, from the Redbird side, it was something we kind of talked about in the break. They dominated the whole game, but man, did they take a long time to finally end it, 38 minutes. So what do you want to see from the Redbirds here going into Game 2 to wrap up this series? We've already given Lakeland, I think, a lot of the advice that they needed from Game 1.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Fish. So, coming from Redbird's position, if they can get ahead like they did in a previous game, if they have not only the level but the item advantage on their side, they have to, and they did with those team fights. Not only take the team fights, do the sieging, take the towers, go in. If you have an opportunity to take the inhibitor, go in. If you can rotate and do that on the side lanes as well, you can do that. You can definitely be confident that a fed virus, absolutely fed virus, against Seraphine and Swain that were like starving for items, you can be confident in yourself that you're gonna kill them. Like, you really can. It may take a little longer if they use Encore, or if Swain also pops the ultimate. Like, it's okay. You're gonna get that. So I think my advice is just, if you have the comp for aggression, take good use of it.
Hop into our Game 2 draft, and I'm with you. I think the Redbirds played that really well. The thing that really surprised me is that last fight where they opted to not go for the dragon. They tried to kind of go with like a base push. They had a 1v5, and then it kind of all got really weird. And it just kind of felt weird. It felt like they wanted to be aggressive. They just didn't quite know how. As we zoom through the picks and bans, and Caramel getting the Aatrox again. And we get a run back here in the top lane. I think Resp knows how to play this matchup better now.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is we talked about, just got to have that early vision, especially with Frank the Tank playing a Sejuani. Sejuani plus a melee is just so devastating when they go to gank somebody. They're going to stack up her passive so fast, you're just not going to be able to play the game.
It's true. I was going to make a good point, but then I saw a Lux in the mid lane, and I am just fangirling. I love this champion so much. But yeah, let's just talk a little bit about that matchup on the top lane. As we talked in the backstage, Rasp, after that one kill, just nailed every parry after that. So if they can carry that sort of improvement they did after that moment in the game throughout to this match over here, I think that's going to be good. As you said, we need that vision. Please don't spare the money on wards. We know you have trinkets, but buy the wards. It's okay. It's gonna be good at the end of the day. So make sure that you're not getting super advanced against Frank the Tank Sejuani. And I actually really like the situation here on the bot lane. If you were asking for classic matchup, here we have it. Caitlyn Morgana versus Ashe and Nautilus with that Lux on the mid lane as well. I think it doesn't get more classic than this.
No, this is an absolutely fantastic bot lane for someone like me, Sofchan. Plus, now, not going to say don't buy wards. Don't quote me wrong here, but Hawk Shot for Ashe does solve some of your warding problems when used properly. You are able to get vision across the map. Again, you should still just spend the 75 gold on a ward every time you back, but still, Ashe is going to help a little bit. I think the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does a lot of the same things that Encore could do for you last game. No, it can't CC the whole team, but you can hit it onto a valuable target. But Caitlyn Morgana, it's just, as you said, a classic comp. The binding into the snap trap, and Galaga, you're just going to fall over dead. So there's going to be a lot of fancy feet down in that bot lane for Galaga. Gotta try and stay alive. And I'm curious what this Seraphine's going to do for Eskimo Lizard. He goes from Kassadin to Seraphine. Those are two completely different playstyles. Very interested to see what he does on the more supporty mid laner this time around.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though, of course, it was a win for Redbirds, I didn't really see Kassadin having that much of a presence in the last game, Fish.
True.
Maybe it's going to be best now to have Eskimo on Seraphine. Maybe this is more of that comfort pick, and Kassadin was out of that pool, so who knows? We'll see how this is going to be performed. But in regards to that bot lane, I just love talking about bot lane. I could talk about them every day, but I am worried for the Ashe. I really am. If you don't have that quick feet, you're gonna get so much damage on those headshots, the bindings, the everything that, well, Nautilus can engage and can stand in front of you. But auto attacks are targeted. And Caitlyn has the damage to reach you. So Ashe really has to be safe in this situation. And unfortunately, I don't think Fiddlesticks is the jungler to be counter ganking all the time, especially against the Sejuani. Not until they get level 6 anyway.
No, you bring up a great point. The Fiddlesticks kind of is the one champion, I think, for Lakeland on our right side that kind of just sticks out like a sore thumb. I can see what you want to do, right? You want to ult into a team fight over a wall, get that fear out, but the problem is not a lot of the Redbirds team wants to be in this small congested area. Caitlyn wants to be in the back. Morgana wants to be in the back. Seraphine even just wants to be in the back. You're going to open yourself up to eat that Encore, to eat the Morgana binding, to eat the Snap Trap, maybe even eat a Glacial Prison from the Sejuani. So Popcorn is going to have to be very, very cautious where he goes. I'll be curious if it's more one of those rush level 6 Fiddlesticks to have that ultimate online as soon as possible. If that's the case, then his laners are going to be very, very cautious. But we're about to get ready to hop into game number 2. And I know you were more on the fence, so Sofcham, can we get a pick out of you this time going into game 2? See you in the draft. Do you have a favorite, or are you going to play neutral once again?
Yeah, I do have a favorite. After watching Redbird, it has to be them for me. But at least I prefer the more traditional comp that Lakeland has this time. Not my favorite, but it's better than it was. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, Morgana and Caitlyn, especially after how Justin #1 played last game, has me very, very worried. I do think Resp is going to play a lot better this matchup. I think he's going to make sure he avoids any ganks. I don't think he's going to eat any Infernal Chains. I think Lakeland did everything we asked him. Traditional AD carry, a little bit more of a sounder comp on that bottom side of the map. So I'll take Lakeland. I'll go up against you. I don't think they're going to feed away as many free kills. They have that Hawk Shot to give them vision. So if they don't want to buy as many wards, they at least have that vision. So we'll have to see. But man, I am so scared of Justin #1 after seeing last game. Plus, he put him on Caitlyn. He's going to have longer range.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Game 2, Redbirds Varsity, Lakeland University, Challengers Midwest. Can Redbirds get the sweep? Let's hop in and find out.
Let's indeed, Fish. I'm very excited about this one, and right now we already see Redbirds on the blue side, Lakeland on the red, and they're gathering on the tri-bush, maybe going for an invade or at least a deep warding situation on Lakeland's blue. So far, just guarding out the area.
Maybe expecting Lakeland to be the ones looking for the aggressive play, as you said. They didn't even really move forward. Will be maybe a bit of a fake out here. We usually talk about, no, never mind. I thought maybe the Justin #1 and Chill Bloke were gonna fake that they weren't leashing, but instead they'll just simply retreat. So we'll see. Both junglers going to start on the opposite side, so I don't think we'll have too much issue. And again, this means for Resp, early warding is going to be key because Frank's going to be up top, level 3 double buff. You cannot let that Sejuani and that Aatrox get first blood on you again.
Yeah, definitely you cannot, because that it's not only it's an advantage of itself, but if you get that feeling of the same play once again that culminated in a loss for your team, definitely not the greatest starts in regards to mental. But I'm very excited about this one. This is a very girly mid lane situation, and I'm all for it.
The Seraphine Lux. Been a while since I've seen Lux in the mid lane. Kind of one of those mid laners who kind of got relegated down to the support position. One of those support carries that you see played quite frequently. But yeah, as you said, more of a girly little shield, healing, just throwing out some bindings in the mid lane. Gonna just stay alive. I think probably not gonna see much jungle pressure mid. I think it's all gonna be top side where Resp, where's your ward? I don't see it.
Oh my. And they're pushing again. Well, if they're not pushing, as they don't seem to be, Caramel is freezing super well because it's pushing towards the blue side of the map, and that's going to give advantage for that Sejuani. Oh, binding so close, but the flash from online gamers enough to help them escape.
They did flash away from the Infernal Chain this time, but they will eat the stun because they're going to come out. Flash by Caramel. Will they go for the tower dive? No, Frank has to turn around, so Resp does survive, does have to trade his flash for Caramel's Frank flashing as well. So hey, he learned, he got out of the Infernal Chains and stays alive, but there's that Caitlyn Morgana power as first blood goes over to Justin #1. The binding, the snap trap, the headshot, dead Nautilus.
Oh, fish, this ghosting. This ghosting. I'm saying that, but I love Caitlyn Morgana. It's so good, so satisfying. But that's what you get. Level 2 bot lane. Oh, Rasp once again in trouble as Frank the Tank is joining there. The chains caught Fiora, and it's going to be a kill on her. There's no escape.
Resp just teleported top lane, immediately gets caught. Did parry the Sejuani passive stun, so that's why I was on cooldown for the Infernal Chains. But a great job by Frank the Tank, hanging up on the top side of the map. Once again, punishing this Fiora for the lack of vision. And already the Redbird's out to a fast start here, which is what you wanted to see from them. Now I think the question is, Shan, again, it's still early, but how aggressive do they want to play? Are they going to be controlled? Are they going to be smart? Are they going to take some risks here in game number 2 to try and wrap this series up a little bit earlier?
I think if they do so in regards to pushing and taking risks, it might be on the bot lane whenever the Drakes start spawning, because it's Caitlyn and Morgana. It's going to be a lot of damage from a big distance. So you're safe to just go around, maybe if you have the level 6 with Sejuani, just get that ulti going. You could even go away, because Caitlyn and Morgana are going to do the rest of the number, and Justin is most likely going to be one of the highlights if we're talking about this side of the map. And while Rasp and Caramel once again really on that brawling situation, the chains do hook Rasp in, but it's just a little bit of that usual fighting on the top lane. They're not going to go for nothing aggressive, but once again Rasp is pushing super aggressively. Now though, they have 2 pink wards on the river, so you love to see it.
Yeah, I thought maybe, it looks like I think Resp was trying to bait in a gank as he had popcorn there. As Eskimo takes a ton of damage. We saw this a lot in game 1 early on. Padawan just pushing into Eskimo, but could never find the kill. And that Kassadin finally got online, and once again Eskimo will just simply teleport back to the wave. There is no teleport on this Lux, so Padawan's going to be a little bit more careful when he wants to back. His mana pool is kind of low. And so he's going to have to maybe try and shove this and take a back right now. Is every lane pretty much right now in favor of the Redbirds. You see the CS on the bottom side, nearly 20 up for Justin, plus that kill. That Caitlyn is going to be a menace already on the early dragon fight.
Yes, they are, and Sejuani are on the bot side of the map. They are circling around. They have division on the river. all of it is coming from the blue side, so it's going to be easier for them to guarantee this first Drake. Damage is popping off from those headshots, and you wouldn't expect anything different. Fiddlesticks is around, but they're still level 5. Interesting, actually. Sejuani is behind in 1 level, but makes sense because Popcorn on the Fiddlesticks was probably going to go for a more full clear situation of the jungle so they can level up as fast as they can. But the pressure looks to be going more towards ganking on Rasp once again, and good to see that freezing this lane here. That's the best way to defend yourself from ganking, because I mean 1 2 3 4 5 wars on the map from the blue side. That is huge. It really goes to show how they are good on those macro and map awareness.
Galaga taking a ton of damage. Dark Binding. There's the trap into the headshot from Justin number 1. You can see a couple of pings out from Frank the tank, looking to maybe try and get a gank on the rest. End up not going to get finded. He will actually run into Popcorn on that top tri-brush, but once again trying to punish this Fiora. There are no wards down for this Fiora. That pink ward being taken out, but look at all these plays. As there's the Dark Binding, there's the trap, there's the Q. One more headshot would have been enough, but Justin taking tower aggro has to reset. But Online Gamer and Galaga just getting forced back and back and back. The CS is now almost double in favor of Justin number 1.
Look at that. Well, at the same time, at least the Fiddlesticks Popcorn once again is trying to build a somewhat comfortable lead in CS. Oh, Galaga going in, but it's a 1v2. They know Lux is around the corner. Hawk is granting them vision. They know there's nobody else around. They're probably going to push this lane, shove the minions so they can rotate for the Drake. Fiddlesticks is there, so that might be a good play since Sejuani is on the other side of the map. I'm not sure if they know Frank the Tank is there, but it's still safer to just do so and grant vision of the Drake pit anyways.
I think they're waiting for Galaga to make one mistake. So far, no luck, and now Caramel, the one freezing the wave, doing a great job. Rasp unable to push forward, no ward available. Frank is there. And if you're the Lakeland top lane, you probably have to have some kind of idea. Uh-oh. Oh, no, Rasp. He walked right into it. He is going to get the parry off on the stun. But Frank ends up holding on to it, but Rasp holding back. So, no kill this time, but Frank making his home up on the top side.
Yes, indeed they are. And with that, Lakeland guarantees the Drake for themselves. The Fiddlesticks is growing quite a lot. A 2-level advantage for them compared to Frank the Tank. So that's nice. It was definitely what was needed with that incredible crystal arrow on them. It's going to be enough with the illumination passive. Lux gets the kill. Incredible communication and prediction from Galaga there. And the finalization from Padawan on the mid. Lakeland looking much better this time around.
That was a fantastic Ash Arrow from Galaga, who needs any extra gold that they could get right now. Look at the CS difference. It is 30 for Justin, who does have that kill. Already has the pickaxe and the high noon quiver. It's boots and a dagger on the first stack for Galaga. The damage difference alone in that lane is very, very scary. But again, they got the first dragon. It's a Cloud Dragon as our second one, Soap Chan, so we can be excited as well as the players. There won't be a Cloud Soul this game. And uh-oh, Justin number 1 might eat some of his own medicine, but Chill Bloke is in range. The flash forward, gonna go with the Dread Slide. The Dark Binding lands onto Galaga. He flashes away at minuscule amounts of health, but a flash forward from Chill Bloke picks up the kill with the auto attack. The Shoal Shackles get one more, and Lakeland walks into their own trap and gets double killed.
Chill Bloke. Oh my god, that dark binding between the minions, that was clean. My god, amazing. Oh, and the ultimate coming from Popcorn as well. And those two champions, they have very, very low health. But the trap. Oh no, that makes me really sad. Oh, that.
If there's a bot lane that hard counters Fiddlesticks, it's Caitlyn Morgana. The Dark Binding into the trap, mid all. Now Rest has to be careful. I think Caramel could just easily pull off the dive. So yeah, Rest is going to have to lunge away, create some space. This is going to be 3 solo plates over to Caramel with that first Rift Herald.
Really? I was really happy with Lakeland that. And then all of a sudden, everything just collapsed. And it really went down to that fight on the bottom lane. Justin number 1. Good positioning after the engage was coming from Gallagher. Oh, actually Frank the Tank going for a 1v2 situation as their bot lane is going to advance as well. They hit the slow, hit the ulti, and it's going to be a support down. The Nautilus is gonna be taking the chains, grabs the stun onto Fiddlesticks. Double kill for Justin number 1. Wow, really making for a amazingly impressive ADC, that one.
Okay, let's not take away from Chill Bloke the fantastic Dark Viking over the wall, the fantastic Soul Shackles. This Morgana has been lights out. I played a great Renata last game as well, but yeah, this, Lakeland was doing great. They had given up a couple early kills, but they were doing well, and then the aggression from game 1, the darkness overtook them, Sovchan. They tried for a 1v2 onto Justin number 1, and as you were saying, got caught, died, and all of a sudden, this Caitlyn's 4-0-2 at 12 minutes.
Yeah, they are. And if they went to the dark side, well, Morgana is always going to win on the dark side, and that's what happened. The Dark Binding is going to land the headshots as well, as there's not going to be enough damage here to try to win the 2v2. Online Gamer is going to go away safely, but once again, we see how this bot lane on the side of Redbirds are shining. And, well, you have to be more careful right now. You can only go in if you have backup from other team members, because on a 2v2, you are going to lose.
Yeah. I mean, there's already a mythic item done for Justin number 1. It's nearly double CS. It's 502 versus 021 for Galaga. The damage is just simply not there right now for the Lakeland bot lane. And I will say, quietly, Caramel, on the back of just that one gank, has really taken over top lane. Every time we've looked up, he has been forcing Resp back to base, nearly has that tower by himself. He's not going to be able to get all 5 plates solo, but comes very close. We hit 14 minutes, plates fall, Unleash teleports unlocked, and the Redbirds, they much more commanding 15-minute lead than they did last game. Gold leads at 5k, and the 502 AD carry is a very scary sight for this dragon fight if Lakeland tries to take it, as the Glacial Prison lands right on top of the poor 80 carry, or on top of Popcorn, excuse me. He goes down after the stopwatch fades. And yeah, there's no chance for Lakeland at this dragon fight. Online Gamer, can you get away? Potentially. Meanwhile, Chill Bloke can throw out the Soul Shackles. The Dark Binding will be cleansed. But Galaga now has to try and run away from 4 more members. Final Spark does get the snipe. Galaga trying to bait, use the tower, but will fall.
Oh, look at that. Okay, the only damage we really are seeing here is coming from Padawan. Well, and I'm happy that that's the case, because that Seraphine was not doing so. So at least they have that source of damage, because Galaga, unfortunately, is really behind. Lux by herself can do much damage just by farming alone. And, well, she had the opportunity to farm, whereas Galaga is 60, oh my god, more than 60 farm behind compared to the 603 Caitlyn Justin number 1. My god, Fish.
I think Justin number 1 about to take over this game on the Caitlyn. Saw it last game with the Varus. It's going to be even more scary this time, as we do see Lakeland at least going to try and get some early dragon stacking, as Resp, nice Ripposave there on the Infernal Chains. Caramel tried to bait him in, not able to find it. And then at least we'll get this second Cloud Drake for Lakeland. So that, again, early dragon stacking. If you get maybe an Infernal Soul, maybe a Mountain Soul, You can maybe make your way back in if you're in Lakeland. It is going to be a mountain soul, so maybe some hope, but I don't know if these next two dragons are going to be just freebie handovers from Redbird Varsity.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, it's because of the nature of these drakes. We had the first Hextech one, the Cloud Drake right now, so definitely nothing to be that worried about. Ooh, sleeky. Nice. Dodge there from Resp, guaranteeing their safety. But once again, we see Redbirds dominating that side of the map and the enemy jungle. Like, look at this. They not only have the invade down to a T, but the warding as well. Everything is blue wards because the red team doesn't have any place, any breach to be able to move forward and get any deep wards. Well, I want them to be careful there. I want them to be in the map. Don't overcommit. Just get their levels and the farm back, especially Galaga. Please do so, because as soon as you get your mythic, you're going to be able to farm even better as well. So you're going to grow, and that's what you need, because at this point, every crystal arrow was countered by a black shield from Chillbloke, and it's going to be a 1v1 happening here. The insta cleanse, the Q into ulti, and the BM emote as well to finish off Galaga. Justin is really wrecking this off with Chillbloke.
Yeah, Justin is taking over this game. As you pointed out, the instant cleanse flash. Popcorn, we've seen this story once before, and it definitely did not go his way. I will say, though, the Infernal item's a lot better than last game. You have to remember, last game, all 5 members of Redbird's Varsity finished their Infernal items before a single member of Lakeland. This time, 3 members of Lakeland do have theirs already finished. Galaga working towards his mythic item, but he's going to need a lot more than a mythic item in this matchup against the Caitlyn. And maybe even, I kind of want to see Redbirds just pull the trigger on a 21-minute Baron at this point, so Chant. Just kind of stomp your advantage. You have a 703 Caitlyn, probably going to have 2.5 items as they finish their rapid-fire cannon. This Baron should melt in a minute and a half. I want to see Redbirds pull the trigger. I want to see them get a bit more aggressive here in game 2.
And I think also on top of that, if Redbirds can do so, it's going to be a game for them. It's going to be game. And not only that, it's going to be serious. It's the sweep for them. But at the same time, Lakeland University, I want to see them communicating, because I feel like they're not doing so that much. Because you have one spell shield, okay? If you're able to bait one with one of your abilities, you have a Lux, you have a Nautilus, you have the arrow, you have the parry as well, if that were the case. So there are loads of things that you can bait the Dark Shield with, and it has to be through communicating that they're going to be doing that, because if every crystal arrow that's supposed to save Ashe is going to get cleansed, like that, they have no chance at this game. So they have to communicate more to be able to get those things to a T, so they don't die at every fight.
Well, we get a big fight here on the top side. The Grand Challenge will be popped by Rest. Whirlwind are going to be used by Caramel as well. Popcorn is rotating up and may be the game changer in this fight. Going to Crow Storm in. The fear is going to go off. The silence. Here comes
Nice.
the arrow, and it connects. There's no Black Shield in range, and Rest picks up the kill, and
There we
the
go.
arrow lands, and they get a kill.
I love that. Give me more of that. Give me more Lux emotes as well. Give me all of that, Fish. I am very happy. Lakeland, you are doing a good job now. Taking it easy, but also connecting those abilities, connecting the counters, and bringing one player after the other to a fight. Because if you have everybody together, the Morgana's ultimate is going to get everyone and stun at the same time. So it has to be a chain of events. It has to be one after the other to grant a successful team fight for them.
Dragon up in 15 seconds. Both top laners will have their teleports ready, so we should get a full 5v5. No flash on either AD carry, That'll be something to keep our eyes on as Rest has to back here to heal up just a little bit. This could be a big dragon. If Lakeland can pick it up, it would put them on a Mountain Soul point. And that shield might be enough to start turning fights, as they do get a bit of a silence and a fear onto Chill Bloke, but so far, a lot of standoff, and now you're going to get a big flank. Glacial Bridge is going to go out. The Ash Arrow just misses. Final Spark comes through. It doesn't do enough damage either. Then Caramel is here to try and change this fight. It's a 5-on-1. Rest trying to stay alive. It's not going to matter. And the Redbirds get a 4-for-0, and they're going to get Dragon here.
Well, coming from Redbirds, super well executed. I think the flank was great with Caramel there, as you pointed out, Fish. That positioning, the lovely ultimate from Frank the Tank, stunning and slowing 3 people there. So super nice from them. And as you said, we have this early Baron starting right now. They don't have any vision, Lakeland University, and I don't know if they have any possibility of trying to fight, but they still have a Lux. They still have that Demacia to be able to try to steal it.
They do have also maybe a Crow Storm over the walls. The Infernal Chain's actually going to go on to Online Gamer. A nice disengage here from the side of Redbirds, trying to catch somebody out. Justin being careful, making sure Rest doesn't get in range. Now Popcorn has to be careful, does pop the Proto Bell. The Redbirds are kind of split up here. It's a great chance for Lakeland to maybe take the fight. Blast going over the wall from Chill Bloke to get out of harm's way. Final Spark does go out for Padawan, but that ult has such a low cooldown. And no Rest. No! He walks into the unwarded Tri-Brush and gets just obliterated.
Once again, oh no. That makes me so sad. They had good vision on this side of that jungle, and then all of a sudden they go into the unwarded area, but they're going for Caramel as they have to pop the ulti. They're still maintaining themselves alive. It's not much damage coming from Gallagher. There's Zonia on the mid lane, actually on the Morgana. Flash Gallagher maintaining themselves at distance to be able to kite them away, and alongside Padawan they guarantee a shutdown. And look at that. It was Lux that got the kill on Caitlyn, right? That is huge gold for them.
Yeah, that is a huge fight, and look how it happened. The Black Shield was on cooldown, Enchanted Crystal Arrow into Final Spark, and Justin just simply fell over. And that's what we've been talking about for Lakeland. They have the combo. They just need to get that Black Shield on cooldown, whether it be the Nautilus. It might have even been used on Frank there to try and get in range. Absolutely huge play. The gold lead now just under 10k, so Lakeland trying to fight their way back in, though Justin was so far ahead, he loses a shutdown and still has another one on his name here, Sokchan, as he respawns.
They do.
It looks like it's actually Galaga that got the shutdown, by the way, onto Justin.
Massive, even better, because Lux was already on top in regards to farming. When you have 4 Ash with half the amount that enemy ADC. So, clean! Oh my god! Squicky clean. Oh, what a pick-off.
Padawan's been that bright spot. You talked about it early on when everyone else was struggling. I mean, 207 CS, basically been pretty much dead even with Eskimo. And if there's no Black Shield, a Lux at this point in the game with 2 items, they're going to 100-0 any AD carry.
Yep. And at this point, if we see something like that happening, and it's going to just give the opportunity for Lakeland to come back. Oh, look at this sneaky positioning. Yeah, that's actually really nice. DP popped from Fiora to join the party as well. Beautiful damage, shut down on Seraphine, and they guarantee not only that the mid laner is down, but that they also have vision in this top river. Aatrox also TPing to that bush. Chill Bloke on the corner. Oh, Fish, this is gonna go about to blow up.
World Ender does get popped. Keep your eyes on Padawan. The final sparks off cooldown in about 5 seconds. Galaga, first one to go down. Einstein barely staying alive. He can't quite do any damage, and Padawan didn't have the final spark. Okay, it's a great turnaround by the Redbirds. Here we go. Can Lux get the snipe?
Let's see. They don't have the vision, and now they do. It's gonna expire. Oh my god, 3. Okay, they
Nice.
stopped. Nice, good job. Good job, Redbird. Good job. Really, really great. Stopping the damage on Baron to make Lux lose count of the health there. Good, nice. Really, really well executed.
Yeah, that was fantastic. You let the E just expire, so Padawan has to just take a guess, and that is the one downside with a Lux 80 carry, right? You don't, or Lux mid carry, excuse me, you don't have the AoE damage, right? You're gonna annihilate anyone in a single target. Then all your spells are on cooldown, the final spark, even at max rank, still does have about a 20-25 second cooldown. Lakeland needs to kind of get a pick and then play around it. It was a great re-engage by the Redbirds. Now they have Baron. I think the big question on everyone's mind here, Soapchan, how aggressive do they want to be with this Baron? Will it be calculated? Will it be slow? Or will they kind of realize we're on a ticking timer? Padawan can start to solo out all of our Fed members and maybe get a bit more aggressive. Because right now, they're chill with Baron on their own side of the map.
Yes, they are. I don't blame them for feeling careful there, but as you said, they are indeed on a clicking timer because this Ashe alongside Padawan can grow. They can grow so much, and that's what Ashe is. She is the hyper carry, the one that's going to be able to melt people at the late stage of the game. So if you can't avoid the game from getting into a late stage, then it might be too difficult for you to come back.
Gold lead just shy of 10k. Objective bounty still on the board. For the side of Lakeland is Chill Below. Throw out Dark Binding. It lands on the Galaga, and that is simply a dead Ashe. Pro-Star over the wall for Popcorn. Meanwhile, Caramel gonna get taken out here. Frank the Tank dropping low. Great 3-man encore. That is huge. Online Gamer going to fall. Padawan probably gonna have to just run away with their life. A huge encore from Eskimo Lizard wins the fight for the Redbirds.
Really, Eskimo was the highlight of this team fight. 3-man ulti. Everybody just intoxicated by her music, wasn't even able to attack back, and they fall down. To be fair, it was close. Like, Padawan could have been in a good position to throw a final spark there, but as you said, the disengage from Eskimo was pretty nice, and guaranteed that they took not only that, tier 2, also tier 3 and inhibitor, so good push from them, especially since they had the Baron buff as well. That's really nice. I think not only did they initiate well, but they also stood up the fight super well, because Lakeland has a lot of CC, but still they managed to stay on top.
And Chill Bloat continues to really be the MVP of this game for the Redbirds. A great Dark Binding that kills Galaga. You take the Enchanted Arrow out of the fight. I will say, though, look at that Lux build. It's getting scary. There's now a 10-stack Magi's. If that hits 20 stacks, Soapchan, people are going to just start getting one-shot by the Final Spark.
Yes, they are. It's only going to be Final Spark, and they're gonna be dead. No need for Q. E is nothing. Just a snipe with the R is going to be enough. And we're coming to a better stage for Galaga as well. One of the other people that has to deal damage here. Padawan secures the blue buff with the Final Spark. We know it's probably around 20 seconds on cooldown. Oh, for a second I thought somebody was getting picked off on that bot lane, but no, it's safe, it's fine. Caramel and Rasp are fighting on this top path as Caramel is really pushing on that turret. So are the other teammates in the bot. They take the tier 2 and they're pushing as they should.
Ace in the hole gets fired off there by Justin, but a look across the health bar. The other seems to indicate most of that damage probably shielded by Padawan. As Caramel and Rest once again going to be in a fight, but neither one has really gone down too much in the 1v1. We do get a Crow Storm, by the way, in the mid lane here from Popcorn. We can just barely see it on the left side of our screen. Does look like, I think he was trying to get a pick on a Chill Bloke, but Frank gonna whip his ult, so the junglers both go 0 for 2 on landing any sort of ultimates. But unfortunately, the Redbirds are just simply pushing into the base. The bottom inhibitor, or the inhibitor turret goes down. The bot inhibitor falls. There's now super minions pushing in 2 separate lanes. This could be the last chance. Rest is gonna dive in there. The Encore gonna land on to 2. Rest already dead. Where's the final spark? It's still on cooldown for 2 more seconds. Chillbloke with a great dark binding. There's the final spark. Justin barely survived, kiting backwards, staying alive. They're gonna trade 1 for 1. Chillbloke does get a kill on the Padawan, so the damage and the final spark are gone. And that looks like it's probably gonna be GG here, So Chen. Once the minions get in range, your Lux is dead. It's all up to Galaga and Popcorn, and there's no Crow Storm left for the side of Lakeland, and I think their hopes of winning this game and extending the series have just ended.
It looks like so. This is actually really confusing to me. Oh, there it is. The dark binding. It's done. It's done. If you can't dodge that dark binding at that point, it unfortunately it's going to have you falling down. Oh, actually, would you look at that? It's not enough damage though. Popcorn as they. Oh no, no. So many mixed emotions. My brain is confused.
Yeah, that last fight had just a bit of everything. The Redbirds were alternating between being very aggressive and being confused why they were so aggressive and being like, wait, what do we attack? Do we attack the tower? Do we attack the champions? But they do get the win. Really on the back of Justin, and Chill Bloke, honestly. Fantastic dark bindings. Every single fight won by the dark bindings. And big shout out to the Redbirds varsity. So both teams going to be 2-3 on the season now as Lakeland takes the loss. Redbirds pick up the win. And I think the Redbirds, maybe they found their mojo heading into the second half of the NEC season because both those games were dominant.
They really were, Fish, and I really hope to see their performance on the rest of these games throughout the season, because if they found their mojo, as you said, it's working pretty nice. And comparing the first to the second game of the series tonight as well, they didn't take 38 minutes, so we love to see it. It's actually a nice, clean wrap-up, and great job by them to be able to execute. So this is the end of the first series of the night, Lakeland versus Redbird Varsity, and a win for Redbird Varsity. Next up, we have WashU Varsity versus NMSU Crimson, standing for New Mexico State University in Champions Division, yes, Heartland Conference. There we go.
That'll be our next game, as you said. Congratulations, Redbirds. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back hopefully at the top of the hour with that game. WashU taking on New Mexico State, coming up here on the NECC right after this.
Flashing lights dance with fire in the night. I'm wired. Watch the time pass us by. Is this feeling lying? Could you pass the lighter? Yeah, I'm trying to keep my cool. Nicotine in my veins, flaming up desires. What am I supposed to do? Cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo. Put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Baby, I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Yeah. Moving through all my feels, you're blurring out my vision. Watching your every smile like your television. In your eyes I see myself, I'm falling. Make it make sense, it must be the temptation speaking. What am I supposed to do? Cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo. Put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me
Rising like a honey
welcome back into the NECC here. Get ready for our final game of the night. Fish and Soph Chan once again holding it down here. We've got a Champions Heartland Showdown, Soph. We've got Wash U Varsity taking on New Mexico State Crimson, a pair of teams looking just like our last teams to turn things around as we get to that mid-season mark, start to figure things out here. And I think both these teams are looking to come away with a win here tonight in our final game.
Yes, they are. And we can dive in straight into the rosters for these teams. We have WashU Esports coming up first, Akasha Sword top lane, Moist and Jungle, Rex Bellator on mid, Human Each, I believe, on bot, Nete on support, and the roster for our enemy team, New Mexico State Crimson, is going to be Avion on top, Torta Master, Superior's Dark Blaze on mid, and Abba bot, and is Megzy on support. I like that one.
We have had some very fun bot lane. We've got Online Gamer our last game, and now we've got Abba Ba Ba in the bot lane here for New Mexico State. So they're challenging us. They're challenging us. As I said, though, both these teams struggling a bit early on. Let's take a look at the standings, see where they lie. Number 7 and number 8, both teams sitting at 1 and 3. Though the map score barely favoring Wash U. Again, that map score, something to keep in mind. But again, both these teams looking to turn things around here as you hit that mid-season mark. Soph Chan, plenty of time here. You don't have to catch UBC Ruby. You don't have to catch UH Premier. But you can get to that 5 spot, that 6 spot, make a playoff run here for both these teams. And a win here today, especially a sweep for that map score, huge for both these teams.
Yes, absolutely, Fish. And we'll see how this is going to play out, because actually the information that we have is that week 4 game for New Mexico State Crimson was rescheduled. So far, they haven't played all 4 games, actually. So we are still waiting to see what's going to be their results. But definitely, as you said, we have a 1 map advantage for Wash U Varsity, and that's something that has to be taken into consideration. We are in the Champions Heartland division, so we have a little bit all over the place, because mostly diamonds and platinums, but also a silver here. So interesting how they're going to round up these comps, Fish.
Yeah, as you said, and like, so diamonds. I think Dark Blaze, maybe a player to keep an eye on. Maybe playing. Hey, look, maybe they come in, they absolutely pop off. I know those players. Rank's just not for them. Dealing with 4 other randoms. Trust us, it's very tilting at time in ranked. You always just want to have your team. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how they play here, and I'm very curious to see kind of how these two teams operate. I mean, we've kind of seen our own meta just over the last few weeks. We've seen a lot of Maokai. I mean, almost feels like pick ban for the most part. I'm very curious to see a Maokai come out. We've seen a high number of Aatrox for some reason just popping in and out of the meta. He's not very good in solo queue, so it is kind of shocking to see Aatrox popping up. So I do want to see game 1. I feel like Soph Chan is always your comfort picks, right? You're like, okay, can I get my most played in collegiate? Probably not, because OPGG exists and you're just simply not going to be able to get your 1 trick. But maybe you get your 2nd pick, maybe you get your 3rd, maybe you're just on something you're comfortable. I think that's what both these teams want, especially as you said, you look at the standings, hasn't started the way they want. You just want a comfort champion here for game number 1 for everybody.
Yes, definitely. They want to test the water, see if it's too cold, and just get used to what is the play style from the enemy team. Comfort picks is always the best shot for first games and series, especially if you don't know much about your opponents. There is OPGG, as you said. You can have a little tweak, a little peek here and there, but of course it's just going to be enough to fill in a couple of bans in the first phase. Then you get the picks and then the bans all over again. So you mentioned Maokai and the odd number of Aatroxes that we have seen. We have also had so many Orns, and to be fair, that is such a solid pick this season. What else have we seen with I think that most of the time is usually that top lane, isn't it?
Yeah, the top lane has been the very consistent lane. Well, there will not be an Aatrox in this game. Going to be taken away by the side of, I believe that is...
Aatrox
Wash
taking
you,
away.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes, they banned the Yumi! Yes! Yes! Wash
You are
you
happy,
is my favorite
finally
now. Thank you,
happy.
Wash you. I appreciate that.
You're
Thank
the
you.
winners.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, nothing
Despise
has
that
happened
shit.
so far, but you're still the winners for Fish in his eyes. That's what we want, Heartland. As we're almost finished with this first ban phase, New Mexico banning the Amumu, Anivia, and Darius. We have seen plenty of Anivias being banned recently, and that Aatrox, Yumi, and Samira on the red team. Volibear was the first pick, and Olaf as well. So I think we're up for a good start.
Oh, there it is. There's the
There it
Maokai
is.
locked
There
in
he
by
is.
boy. So we get everything with the Jarvan from Tortamaster 5000. Definitely a very interesting pick. The Olaf top lane as well. Usually, you know, I feel like we've seen a lot. You know, we've seen Maokai top. We've seen Maokai jungle. He's been really all over the place. Oh, I love this Silas pick though. There are so many juicy ultimates already from just the 3 champions picked. Dark Blaze, I think, is going to have his choice of powerful ultimates for these late game team fights.
Yes, they are. I am just envisioning Silas with the Olaf ulti, and I'm scared. I'm just scared. I think that's going to be too violent.
I'm honestly more worried about the Maokai ult. I mean, the AP scaling from Silas
true, it's
alone,
true.
like, it's gonna rip you apart. But, you know, if he gets the Olaf ult, he's gonna have a lot of fun. Just press Ragnarok, chase you down. I mean, you also have the Chaos Storm from Victor that can just shred teams with the silence. So, again, there's already a great choice, and usually the supports are kind of the ults that you love to steal from. We don't even know who the support is going to be for the side of WashU. The Kai'Sa
Ooh,
locked in. That is a very, very good pick. And now, I'm curious to see what the matchup will be on the bottom side here for New Mexico State Crimson.
And as we have been talking, I am a bot lane aficionado, and this is definitely the one side of the map that I'm always most excited about. I love to see Kai'Sa there. I haven't seen her that much on the NECC, and Miss Fortune, look at her. Recently, very frequently banned. And alongside that, Seraphine, I think that combos really well. Blitzcrank, Nate, look at that. I think we can do amazing plays. Can you imagine Silas stealing Kai'Sa's ulti as well? That's nice. I kind of like it. Like, just the possibility of mobility that the Silas can have alongside with the Maokai and Victor ulti. I love that.
I am very concerned about the ults on the side of WashU that Silas can steal. You mentioned Kai'Sa, Blitzcrank as well, an AoE silence on top of Silas if he's in team fight range. Maybe turn off the Olaf, maybe turn off the Maokai, maybe even get on top of Victor. I mean, I am very worried that Silas is just going to be like, you're ult, all right, you're ult, all right, he's going to have, especially at level... At level rank 3, that ultimate cooldown is like sub 30 seconds. I mean, I think this is really a game where if you're the side of New Mexico State Crimson, you have to shut down Dark Blaze early, or he will, I think, literally just 1v5 you late game with whatever ult he needs for the situation.
Yeah, that's true. And followed, actually, him following an encore from Seraphine alongside a bullet time can be just so good. To be fair, that Jarvan there to round everything up on the jungle, I love Jarvan and Misfortune combo. It used to be one of my faves in solo queue back in, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and I really like that comp for them. But on the side of WashU as well, I think they are more annoying than they are solid. I mean, it's still a good comp, but it's going to be a comp to make the enemy team be always on their toes. They're always going to be careful where they step so they don't get into a hook, or they just don't go into a stun from Victor there, or a Kai'Sa just blowing your brains out and stuff like that.
And I think annoying is the perfect way to put that comp for WashU, because you have the Olaf, who is going to be just a 1v1 machine. We have seen Maokai's. Again, my, memory's a little hazy, but I want to say Maokai's have a 100% win rate on our cast together, Sofchan, so far in the NECC. If not 100%, it is very, very close. That champion is so strong. Just the ability to CC the nature's grasp. I will say the one concern I have for this WashU team, and is, as someone who plays a lot of support, I understand how this can happen. Blitzcrank is a very aggressive support. If you fall behind, you are useless because you have to be the one engaging with your rocket grabs. If your team's behind, your team can't fight, and you're basically required to start every fight. So I'm very curious how Nate will handle this. If it will be, if he gets behind early, does he kind of have to play that more passive Blitzcrank role where he's saving his rocket grab to be able to just kind of peel for human each? I'm very concerned that Blitzcrank, when he falls behind, loses a ton of power.
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, I just pictured Blitzcrank pulling Silas or Jarvan or Volibear. And to be fair, if you get that target wrong, that could be just so bad for WashU entirely that it doesn't even matter if you are behind or if you are ahead. That can be disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, if he hooks anybody but Misfortune, it's kind of scary, right? I mean, if you give... It's a free encore target if you hook the Seraphine, as long as she's able to live the, 2 seconds that your silence plus your CC, your knockup lasts. You have to hit Misfortune. And something tells me Misfortune is not going to stand in a spot to be easily hooked. And there's a reason why Blitzcrank dominates low elo and then absolutely kind of falls off the higher and higher you get. And as you mentioned, we've got Diamond, we've got Master players. Blitzcrank might look like a cannon minion running around out there at times. Just nothing to do.
Yeah, maybe compared to a Sona even, because it might be a super minion. I mean, a super minion would be better because it wouldn't bring any of the enemies like close to you. I mean, okay, so here we are. At least a super minion doesn't bring danger to your team, okay? Okay. But
I don't think that mean to him.
But if we think about New Mexico actually having a good run with dodging those abilities, not because Nate just whiffed those hooks, but because they were doing good dodges, we can have a little more balanced ground to work with, because as we said, there are just too many threats in New Mexico State's team to be able to hook that can ruin a fight. Oh my god! It's the Misfortune skin. I cosplayed that skin. I love it.
What is it, Mafia Misfortune?
Yeah, it used to be called Mafia, but nowadays I think it's Crime City or something.
Well, you can fawn over that. I've got my Broloff skin here.
Yes, you do.
For Akasha's sword. Last time we just had the default Olaf skin. I was a little sad, but we got Broloff here. He's ready to jam and slam up on the top side of the map. And I was going to say that this is where Blitzcrank shines too, right? Is that early game, you can get the rocket grab over the wall. You can reset the jungle minion so that the clear is a little bit slower. But they just simply didn't opt for an invade. They are hanging out in Tribush, so maybe they catch Smexy and Ababa on the downward rotation, but this isn't usually how you want to pull off a Blitzcrank. You want to be way more aggressive early game with it, I feel like.
Agreed, and safe as they know they have to be, they're gonna go around. They're not gonna get anywhere close to the Tribush. So, well, there we go.
They tried. They tried. They really did.
Yeah. Oh, that's not what we want to see as your first hook of the game. Nate, come on. This has been so fun so far, and it's only been 2 minutes on the clock.
Can we trade him in for a super minion yet? Is that
a possibility? Can we get the Sona in? We already have the Sona 2.0.
No, we already have the new and improved Sona that everyone thought was a Sona rework that ended up just being a brand new champion. I will say, Nate does have the Super Striker Blitzcrank, one of the going back to those 2012 skins you can't get anymore. So I do appreciate the throwback there. But I have to see a lot slower game again. Keep an eye on the Maokai. Both junglers started on opposite sides. Sofchan, so he won't get an engage here. Maybe Akasha's sword has to be careful. We've seen top laners punished for their lack of warding, and Jarvan could do just that early on once he gets double buff.
Yeah. We might be seeing Toyota Master going for the engage on the top lane, even though this 1v1 is looking pretty rough already. The flash forward and the ability to knock them down. First blood for Avion. Really, really nice. Now you don't even need your jungler. You're safe by yourself.
Yeah, there was just... I mean, early on, Olaf is supposed to win those. He has the passive life stealing, and Avion just absolutely took it to Akasha's sword, and that is a huge first blood for New Mexico State. Jungler doesn't even have to come over. But again, I think the big thing in my opinion is, what does this Silas do? Can he stay alive? And I will, you get a little bit of a freebie here, Soap Chick, because first blood's already happened, but I didn't get to ask you in the draft. Who you got in game number 1 between these two teams?
Yes, you do. Red team getting that scuttle in the bot side. Blue team getting the other one. As we said, both junglers started on opposite side. It was bound to happen. They wouldn't meet each other. I was really just not expecting that 1v1 to go so one-sided. And getting the first blood super quickly for New Mexico State. I really want to see Blitzcrank shine. Okay? I did say those things before the game started, but I really want to see Nate shine, because it is a champion that if you do precise hooks, it can be devastating. So, well, just like the Silas here going for these early fights with Victor. Totem Master joining. The sweep is there. No wards to spot them out. Fish, there's something about to happen down now.
Well, we got another battle in the top lane. Akasha going to be able to pick up the axe, get one more undertow out. Has a ton of healing, has a ton of minions helping them. Both dropping low. You got to be careful with the tower. The axe just misses. But you're not out of the woods yet. There is no flash on either of these. As the abscond just misses from Dark Blaze there. Bob. But they're staying alive. Meanwhile, Torta Master, you pointed out there are no wards. Is he going to look for the flag and drag onto Human Each? Maybe onto Blitzcrank. There he goes. Wants to drop right on top of the Kaisa. A great rocket grab. The flash heal. Still gets knocked up for Nate. That feels so bad. He played it well, but the animation from the flag and drag with the flash from Torta Master picks up the kill.
That connect is so satisfying when it hits, and getting that clean of a kill. Amazing Torta Master. Great rotation early game, and also getting those deep wards. I love having the vision fish. We asked for it. The vision, it's coming to play, and this time it's coming from the blue team. New Mexico really getting that on the way to grant them good map awareness and just make it so it's easier for them to gank and get an early Drake or Herald, perhaps.
Nate making a little bit of a roam here. Maybe thought he'd try and get a pick onto Dark Blaze, but that does not happen. We do have Moist in a very precarious position. Does land a sapling on a Torta Master, but there is going to be that blast cone. But Avion was ready. He does have level 6, but we also see a rocket grab into the power fist onto Ababa. He will go down. Moist will fall as well, so it's a 1-for-1 across the map. Great play here by this Blitzcrank, getting to redeem himself for a couple of those early hooks.
Oh yes, one at least. If you just pull a couple of minions, that's fine. No big of a deal. But when you pull the champion right, that's when it hits, and that was super clean. I mean, as a Misfortune main as I am, you know you can't be in front of the minions. You have to be behind them. You have to be walking beneath them. Oh no, not again! It's going to be so close. One more altar would be enough, but it's not. Misfortune trying to get them with the Make It Rain, just slowing them down. She doesn't have enough damage so far, and it's a 1v2 situation if she has to back away before the hook is back online. But good attempt there from them to coming back to this lane, but definitely in the first place coming from Washu, Nate there handling a great hook and taking down one more kill on the bot lane.
And he's okay. We were joking, but he must have hurt us, because he is popping off with those rocket grabs now, keeping himself ahead. Again, the problem with Blitzcrank, you fall behind, you pull somebody in, and all of a sudden your team starts a fight they don't want to start. If you have our dragon up, the The Rift Herald will be up here shortly, but neither team really seems too interested in it. We might get a fight around this Mountain Dragon. Really no wards down. There's just that one blue ward down in the river, but there's nothing from the red team down there to give any vision on that dragon. So, Tortomaster hanging around. I mean, this is a trade because you see Moist is on the River Herald, or the Rift Herald. You gotta hop onto this if you're Tortomaster.
Yes, you have to go directly on that Drake. You have the vision around the area. You saw the Kai'Sa coming from the jungle. Good. Coming from the other side of the wall, engaging with the flag, taking down with a sweep that ward. No vision for the red team. Jarvan can solo the Drake pretty easily. Silas is just around the corner. Bot lane pushing as well. So that's really nice. Guaranteeing their first buff for them. When basically you knew that you were going to lose their Herald once you spotted the red team there. And actually Maokai is doing a great job at invading this top side, the blue area. And took the buff as well, but they're going to engage here on Nate. Encore misses. It's such a whiff, unfortunately. But Nate was going to fall regardless. And it's another kill for New Mexico. 4-1 now, Fish.
They did see Moist on the wards, did New Mexico State, so obviously that's kind of what gave them the ability to go in, but I'm surprised Moist didn't drop this Rift Herald on the top side of the map. I mean, he was hanging around, Akasha Sword was pushing. Very concerned, as you said, the encore miss from Smexy, maybe a little, especially when he was trapped in the Cataclysm, that feels really bad. Luckily it didn't cost him the kill, but one of those things you gotta keep an eye on when it's like, ooh, that's a little off there. Maybe you still gotta, warm up a little bit, make sure the settings are right.
Yeah. Just calibrate those controllers because, to be fair, I didn't even think it was necessary to get to use the encore there. Just, well, there's not going to be any fights soon because none of the objectives are on the ground. You don't really need that, but Encore has such a long cooldown. So to not only have wasted the OT unnecessarily, but also as a whiff, it feels bad, man. But I think both of these supports here are warming up still. Nate seems to be a little more oiled up on that machine, but Smexy is getting that.
We saw it from the first hook from Nate. You just need one to go a little bit south, and you'll figure things out. As we do have Moist creeping into the jungle. He is now going to walk over a ward, but I don't think he cares. They want this Herald down. They want human each to get this bonus gold. They will get one plate. They'll actually be split between all three of them. And now the Herald will get the charge off, and it looks like, again, all three of them will split the gold. So not quite all of it going on to human each, as we do see Aviron trying to run away from Akasha's sword, now turning around. He already does have the grievous wounds, by the way. Look at maybe rush a Thornmail on this Volibear, so this Olaf Omnivamp is not going to be as impactful in fights anymore, like really you expect it to be when you pick an Olaf.
Yes, definitely. So I think it's a great choice to go for the Brumble Vest for Volibear early on, alongside those boots for armor as well. Oh, nice. What is that? Big damage from Bullet Time. That was following up that stun from, what was Smack? Oh my. Do you have a sticky mouse? Do you want a new mouse pad? We can try to help. That was I wish you guys could see my face because I'm the face of disappointment.
We do get a dive up here as we recover from Smexy's not so Smexy encore, we'll put it that way. That was into the mountains and then some, but it is a 1-for-1 trade on the bottom side. Ababa did pick up the kill onto Nate, who respawns and runs top lane. Does get a great power fist onto Tortomaster, but Akasha's sword right there. The Flag and Drag does get the knock up, and now this Blitzcrank might have bit off more than he can chew. The Cataclysm gets the kill. Bob with the teleport, but he can't get in range, and New Mexico State just kind of snipes a freebie on the support.
They do. Really nice rotation there. I loved it. Love to see New Mexico getting not only the vision in that jungle, but making sure that when they see somebody there, they act upon knowing their position. So really, really nice job, New Mexico. And to be fair, it was a good play from Nete going to the top path to try to help Akasha. Well, unfortunately, the follow-up was... Oh, nice flash. Okay, the redemption arc is coming on. There we go.
Well, unfortunately, flashed right into Hubert, so Smexy will still fall. Did not have the encore to save themselves. Dragon up in 30 seconds, so maybe a chance for WashU to turn things around. So far, been a very slow game. I will say, just peep my eye at the CS, especially in the mid lane and in the bot lane for WashU. I mean, there's a reason they're down 3 kills, but still have 1,000 gold lead, and that's because they are farming extremely well, Soapchan.
Yes, indeed they are. Almost, okay, so around 20 for bottom lane, and 30, almost 40 for Bob, just Bob. I cannot say this name without laughing. It's just so funny to me. I guess I'm just a 5-year-old or something, but they're engaging here, and a nice hook on Seraphine is going to be a kill immediately, guaranteeing that this Drake might be uncontested, and it is. Totomaso is not going to reach themselves on that one. It's only the first Drake for WashU Varsity, so that's something they can let happen.
Yeah, they're okay to lose that first Drake. It will. We cast Maokai games of Chant, and we cast Cloud Soul games, apparently, as it will be yet another Cloud Soul on the Rift. Tortomaster gonna go in. Oh, what a rocket grab onto the 80 carry. A great job there. The bullet time is canceled. Smexy there does have the encore and gets the snipe on the Blitzcrank. There we go. The turnaround. The 1 for 3 for New Mexico State. And they pick up a huge double kill. Jarvan now 4-0-3 on this jungle.
Look at that. I was predicting this Maxi redemption arc. We're getting there. Love to see it. The only thing that I was so sad about was Ababa's ulti getting interrupted. You hate to see a bullet time just go for 1 round of bullets. And that's unfortunately what happened. They went down on that fight. But New Mexico State picked up a couple of those skills to come back on top on the bottom lane. Silas has rotated there. Bot lane is currently in mid, and Nate is right there. Smexy might be. Oh, nice. Great dodge, and the damage is knocking out Ababa. So close to dead, but the potion is going to help them stay healthy for a little longer.
Master maybe looking to go in here, hop onto the support, introduce himself once again. Nice dodge on the rocket grab. But it does look like the second Rift Herald will just simply be a freebie for WashU. Maybe not. Master and Arvion hanging around. 4,000 health and dropping. Does he want to go in? Smite is up.
Oh.
Rocket grab over the wall. The Volibear forced to ult away. And Rift Herald picked up here by Moist. Second one of the game. Dark Blaze, meanwhile, trying to trade a tower. WashU start to push this advantage, especially behind this very fed mid laner. 2-0-0. 131 CS on Bob Just Bob.
Bob Just Bob. Oh, okay. That was kind of scary. Bob! Oh, flash into Hook Nate, showing how they're not the super minion. Yes, you love to see it. Blitzcrank shining. We're back onto Season 1 League of Legends solo queue. Yes, Fish.
And Bob just obliterated Ababa with the death laser. Didn't even see him on the screen after he got hooked. 3-0 on this Victor. Already has his mythic item. He is going to be a very large problem for New Mexico State to deal with. Is again, Mexico State's had the kill lead most of this game, but they're behind in gold really off of the CS difference. Again, it's about 30, almost 40 in the mid lane. It's 30 in the bottom lane, and that's just a lot of passive gold that WashU has over New Mexico State and their lane opponent.
Yes, they do, and unfortunately, if we're looking about the bottom lane stats as well, Misfortune has died 4 times already, so things are not looking great on the blue side of the map down there. But if we have a look at Tata Master, though, 450 gold bounty, 403, and a 30 CS lead compared to Moist. So that's pretty nice for them. I have to say, so far, every good play has been with Torta present, so we need to keep that going. New Mexico, to keep on building this advantage, has to be on top of those cataclysms, on those flag flash engages, and making sure that you lock the enemy down and take the kill quickly, because at this point Nate's being the one to make the plays, and that is making New Mexico State fall a little bit behind.
Got our first Cloud Dragon of the game up in 30 seconds. We'll see if there's any interest in a fight around that one, as right now looks like Bob and Moist maybe trying to make a play topside, as they're unfortunately unable to find anything onto the Volibear. Some ward clearing from Nate and Human. And Bob will just keep pushing the tower. Does have that teleport, so I fully expect him to join this team fight around the dragon in the next few seconds.
Bob.
Not Bob. Bob, just Bob.
Just Bob. Oh.
Just Bob.
Just Bob. Just Bob. Yes, 1 second, 0. It's Cloud Drake. Oh, is it going to be Cloud Soul? Oh,
it is
not,
Cloud Soul.
Not
Searching.
again. Not again. One of the most boring of the souls. But the TP is in, and they're going to go for this one. It's actually going to be the Volibear getting picked. Bullet Time is going to miss everybody. Dark Blaze got caught on between 3 people as this fight is still continuing on. Fish, Smexix might going to go down with the X there. Ababa too falling just afterwards, and Washu really dominated that fight, and once again coming with Nate for that big engage hook coming on top. I am very, very impressed. I'm eating my words.
Nate's making us eat both of our words. I will say, he did end up gripping the Volibear, who was able to get a Stormbringer onto his 80 carry. So as you talked about, maybe want to make sure your hook targets are, a little bit, more thought out besides just bringing the Volibear in. But it was a great kite job by Human H. He had the Cataclysm and the Volibear on top of him, just basically walked away. And now, it's a 20-minute Baron for Wash U, and really the first time they've had the kill lead. And now they're going to really start to expand this gold lead as well. It's up to almost 5K all of a sudden.
Wow, all of a sudden indeed, because we were talking about around 1,000 that was coming for New Mexico, turned into WashU just by farming alone, and now it's going up to 4,000. Really, WashU making up for those early hooks missed, for those rotations that didn't work really well, or the 1v1s on the top lane. Right now, they're playing as a team, and I believe that 5v5, they are taking the upper hand here, Fish.
5v5 Wash U, just incredibly scary. Didn't even get Dark Blaze, unfortunately, did not get a powerful ultimate off like we have been talking about in the draft. And now the question becomes, what do you do with this Baron? You already have the mid and bot tier 1 towers taken. Do you continue to shove mid? You did have the Herald charge into it as Nate gets caught on a ward, and Human Each is going to have to leave his support to die. Cataclysm comes out. The Encore nearly clips him. The bullet time overkill to finish him off, and a great job there by Tortamaster realizing Nate's cleared a ward. It's a great time to get a free kill.
Yeah, definitely a great time to get a free kill, but I really want to highlight Human Each activating instantly that E to get the movement speed and dodge on core, because if that connected with a bullet time, as you said, it would have been a dead Kai'Sa as well. As once again we have Human Each here going for a siege on this turret, but Totamasa is following up alongside their teammates.
So far, no engage. Meanwhile, look bottom side of your screen. We're going to have a 1-on-2. Bob versus Ababa and Dark Blaze. And right now, Bob is absolutely dominating. He's got the Leandries. He's got the Rabadon's Death Cap. There is so much AP on this Victor. I think he could easily win that 1v2. So far, only a minute left on this Baron, and while the gold lead has gone up just a little bit, they haven't picked up any of these crucial towers for WashU to continue to open this game. Maybe going to try and siege onto that top one. The bot tier 2, as I say, that does fall for Bob. And here we go. Nate, the great hook into the silence. The encore isn't going to be come out. No, it's on cooldown. And that's a huge loss as Specs is the first one to fall. Tortmaster has to just flash away. Arvion will go down. Can they pick off this Jarvan? Yes, they can!
Sheesh! The emote, well deserved. A happy bee getting the snipe. No scope on Tortmaster. Super great Nate, showing really what okay. They said I know everything. I can make the predictions, and then all of a sudden, well, sometimes the prediction is not predicting, and well, my prediction right now is that they're falling on this game, taking both inhibitors here. Possibly they might have to retreat before that happens, but Bob is going to take that one on bottom lane. Olaf building up pressure on the top pass as well, and all the lanes have been pushed into New Mexico State's base. It's getting a little hard now because every time I see something happening, as we said, it's coming from Wash U, and every time New Mexico tries to get a good ulti on top, it doesn't connect. Especially Ababa there has been falling a little behind with those interruptions on bullet time, so they have to be more careful about that, a little more patient, and just wait for the good moment for all the CC to have been used to then activate their ulti themselves.
Yeah, we haven't seen the MF Jarvan combo, the Cataclysm bullet time combo that we've been talking about in draft. You throw the encore on it. The encores have been, well, hit or miss to say the least. And so you have, as you said, you haven't got those combos, and now you're looking at a Cloud Dragon spawning. Probably going to be sole point for Wash U as Moist just simply smites that one away. Blast Cone out of the Blitzcrank hook range, and as this game is, starting to fall away from New Mexico State, what do you think, Sofchan? What do they need to do to continue extending this game?
Just make sure you're really, really far away from the range on the hook. You have to stay safe, not let them engage on the fight. Be the ones to do the play. Tortmaster going in like that, and you can have it a beautiful encore. Unfortunately, the misfortune is kiting the Olaf away, and you know how that goes. You can't do that for much longer. Maokai ulti getting everybody rooted down. Unfortunately, the pressure from Akasha there, isolating Ababa away was the one thing to make this team fight fall apart for New Mexico. And WashU guarantees the first victory of this best 3 champions Heartland Fish. How? That was a very interesting game.
Yeah, that game, I mean, WashU put on a clinic on, how to play League of Legends. Don't worry about kills. Just farm. They had the gold lead despite never having the kill lead until about 17 minutes. And then, as you said, Nate was hitting hooks, and they realized the win condition for New Mexico State. You pointed out in that last fight, the Cataclysm lands. A 3-man encore lands. Where's the bullet time? It's Ababa trying to kite away from the Olaf, and he simply popped Ragnarok and just gunned down Misfortune. That was great awareness by WashU. They played that game. Really, that was A+ League of Legends, honestly, I have to say, for WashU.
Yes, it was super nice, coming from exactly what you said, the basics of some kills. They are a little bit of gold. At the end of the day, farming gives you more gold than some kills does. And if you think about it, the most important thing about the kills is when they happen. So if you take advantage of a jungler being down to take objectives, of an ADC being down to control the bottom side, so on. So basically, they did that super well. WashU controlling the map. The vision was great as well. We had good vision actually coming from both teams, and on top of that, they were bullying with that Blitzcrank. They really felt comfortable on it, and they were doing such a great job. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Blitzcrank ban coming next. I really wouldn't, because I'm telling you, Nate, after that first one, like 2-3 hooks, they were on it. I don't think they missed any of those important ones that would win them the fight.
No, I'm right there with you. I think Nate proved both of us a little bit wrong with those Blitzcrank hooks, especially after the first one was a little bit, a little sketchy, but again, warmed up. But I think the other thing is, if you ban Blitzcrank, if he wants to play hook champion, there's still Thresh, there's still Nautilus. I think the one thing for me is I'm curious if we throw a lot of bans towards that mid lane. I know Bob didn't have the crazy score, but he was absolutely rocking people. He had such a huge CS lead. He's going to be a problem. I don't think you can let him be on a hyper carry like a Victor, like something else. You got to try and ban him out if you can. But we'll take a break.
Yeah.
We'll see if Wash U can complete the sweep or if New Mexico State can take us to a Game 3. We'll be right back here on the NECC with Game 2 of the Champions Heartland Showdown. Welcome back here to the NECC, getting ready for Game 2 in our Champions Heartland Showdown. Wash U Varsity claiming game number 1, trying to pick up the series sweep, win their second game of the NECC season, taking on New Mexico State Crimson. Also, maybe looking for their second win of the season, but right now, need to focus on winning their first game. Fish and Sofchan here once again, and we do have a substitution, much to our chagrin, Sofchan, our favorite name, Bob Just Bob, is going to be moving on to the bench, and Rex Bellator moving in for this game in the mid lane for Wash U alongside Akasha Sword, Moist, Human Each, and Nate. So curious to see what Rex Bellator is going to do. Bob Just Bob kind of silently dominated that mid lane matchup against Dark Blaze. So I'm curious to see if he brings a different champion style, what he's going to bring to the Rift for this team that's looking to close out the series.
Yeah, Fish. Very interesting that they decided to go for sub at this point. But we all know these are all people studying in college. They have plenty of things to do. So it's understandable. So let's just wish that Rex Bellator is going to do as great, maybe not even as silently great as Bob Just Bob did in this last game. But interesting that we're going to have probably a full-on different game style coming from this player, and that's something that New Mexico will have to adapt again, because they already lost this one and they have to guarantee this next win to be able to come back with a reverse sweep for themselves, or else they unfortunately lose the series.
Yeah, I will say Wash U looked really strong in that first game. I mean, really outside of again, as we talked about, it was textbook League of Legends. Yes, kills are large amounts of gold, but if you just farm better, you're going to have more gold in the long run. That's exactly what they did. I mean, again, it was kind of headlined by Bob Just Bob, so there's a lot of pressure on Rex Bellator, whoever he plays, to continue to farm well against Dark Blaze, but we saw it down in the bot lane as well. Nate activating their 80 carry Human Each with a 30-40 CS lead, and I think the big thing that I want to see going into this draft is if New Mexico State just drafts an easier comp to pull off. Yes, their comp had potential last time. We talked about it. The Cataclysm, into the Encore, into the Bullet Time. That happened 0 times. I did not see it happen a single time. So maybe you just draft a more simple comp here, Sofchan, and New Mexico State can force us to a game 3.
Yeah, I think not only that, you have to be aware of your carries. You have to be aware of where they are and who is going after them. Because unfortunately, that last one combo they needed, Misfortune was away because she was trying to kite an Olaf, and you just cannot do that. That's unfeasible, even if you are between 2 Nexus turrets. So unfortunately, as you said, they were not able to connect to all of that. Maybe they're going to be better off with smaller combos here and there instead of one big scenario where you needed the Encore with the Cataclysm, with the Bullet Time, but especially the Bullet Time to be able to deal the damage, because all of the other 2 abilities on their own, they can only do so much, and the Jarvan can only take 1 person at a time. So the AoE damage was definitely lacking on those team fights.
We hop into our game 2 draft. We've got New Mexico State on the blue side. We've got Wash U Varsity on the red side again. Bob Just Bob out. Rex Bellator in the mid lane. We'll see what Rex has up his sleeve. As Bob very dominant on that Victor in game 1, going up against the Silas from Dark Blaze. We do have pretty much the same bans, I do believe, here for Wash U. We've got the Aatrox taken away. Big fan of that Yumi ban. And then meanwhile, I think Mumu, Anivia, Darius, and Samir. I think this is actually all the same band. So the Volibear pick. Are we playing the same game? Oh no, we got Maokai top lane. So okay, all right. We have confirmed this is not a repeat. This is a different game. As we get the Sejuani in, all of a sudden, Wash U got a very scary top lane there with 2 tanks who can do a ton of damage.
Yes, indeed, and they've got Kayn going on. Well, if we have a look at what the other champions are going to be, we'll probably have an idea if it's going to be blue or red. Kayn, I don't think with this much of a tanky team that they can go assassin. They have to go red Kayn. So I don't think there's much of a surprise there. But I really like what New Mexico are bringing to the table with Volibear, Sejuani, and Silas. And if we have a look at the possible OTs to be stolen by Darkblaze. You have that Maokai, as you mentioned. Set as well would be very interesting with the Silas kit. I think that would be really, really nice. Kane would be interesting as well for quick, more disengages, just staying safe for a period of time. But so far, very interesting from both sides, I think. Wait, do we have a set mid? Is that what we're...
I do believe that's a set mid, Soph-Chan. Looking at Rex Bellator, he does play a lot of melee mids. There's a lot of fizz in his match history, so it definitely fits a little bit. I mean, he plays a lot of Kiana. He maybe plays melee assassin, so not Set's not quite the assassin take, but I mean, into the Silas, maybe you just want to have that health regen. Is going to be very interesting. We do get Nate back on that Blitzcrank, human each, also back on the Kaisa, so that bot lane is back. Interesting for Ababa going over the Aphelios and Smexy. We'll take the Rel, which is their main champion of choice. Of course, the Seraphine hit or miss, I think, is the best way to say how that game played out. So definitely like that Smexy is on something they're probably a little bit more comfortable on here for game 2.
Yes, I like the sound of that as well, because as you mentioned, we needed too many things to connect onto each other, and with this, I think each champion has a little more capabilities of surviving on their own, or just at least with someone helping them. So if Aphelios has Rel, they're probably going to be okay. Volibear can stand alone by himself. Sejuani to Silas. So I think I really like this comp coming from New Mexico. At the same time, Washu is coming with pressure again, because Nate has warmed up. The fingies are there, they're on fire, and they're relentlessly clicking on that Q and hitting great hooks. So I would be scared. I would definitely be very cautious on that positioning in the bot lane.
I really think, and I mean, we both kind of had the same reaction. I think my biggest question for Watch U is this set mid, right? I mean, what is Rex Bellator going to do on this set? How does it match up into the Silas? Is this something he likes playing into the Silas? Is this something that the team has maybe been practicing? Because, I mean, he's not a traditional mid laner. You don't really have a whole lot of AP damage right now on that Wash U team. I mean, I know Kaisa does do some mixed damage, and, Maokai does magic damage, but he's more of a tank. So, I mean, if you just kind of build armor on the Volibear, on the Sejuani, on the Rel, your damage potential for Wash U kind of goes out the window.
It does. I'm not sure how aware the AP build is for Kaisa right now. Maybe that could be a possibility, just sniping out those W's boosted and getting the passive proc. I don't know. To be fair, they have good amount of champions on their side to be able to keep up with those Blitzcrank hooks and taking care of whatever champion comes along with it. So maybe Kaisa is going to be in a good place to just be very, very far away from the fight, from those Sejuani ultis, Aphelios as well, Rel and those engages. So I think we have good 2 comps on the map, and especially since you mentioned that Smexy is in that comfort pick for Rel, I am very excited to see how this is going to play out and alongside Aphelios. I think that's a good combo. Unfortunately, Misfortune was too immobile for their own good in the last game, so we'll see how this is going to play, considering we have a possible game 3 on the line, or a sweep.
Yeah, I think as you pointed out as well, Nate has to be, again, very careful with the hook targets. If you hook in that Rel, if you hook in that Volibear, if you hook in that Sejuani, you're maybe asking for bad things to happen to your team. But if they get that bot lane so far ahead where Human each gets 3-4 kills off of hooks, it might not matter. And so I'll put you on the spot, Soph-Chan, for maybe the final time tonight. Who you got in game 2 after seeing the draft? Is it Wash U for the sweep, or does Mexico State have a game 3? What do you think?
I am going for Mexico State for game 3.
Okay.
I have to say, yeah.
all right. I want to say we had a cast earlier this year where somebody picked set mid, and I was very critical of it, and they absolutely popped off. So I don't want to look like a fool again. I'll take Wash U, but again, very skeptical of Rex Bellator on this set. But I want to say I've already eaten crow once this year picking against the set mid. I don't want to do it for a second time, but we will have to see. Game 2 is almost upon us. I am curious if Date and company will get a bit more aggressive with the invade. They kind of tried a little bit of cheese in Game 1. They sat in that tri-bush, but of course, it was kind of called out by New Mexico State. They didn't even approach it. So I'm curious if we'll see maybe a bit of an invade here from Wash U as Game 2 gets started on the Rift in any second. Again, Champions Heartland Showdown. Maybe our final game of the night here on the stream. We'll have to see if New Mexico State can extend this series.
Oh yes, and I'm actually looking forward to an extension to this series because I don't want them to go down like this for just, okay, to be fair, I'm not taking credit from Nate, but just from those Blitzcrank hooks. Come on, you have so much more in store that you can bring to the table here in New Mexico State, and I am excited to see how you're going to play this one out, having the Rel, the more comfortable pick, something that makes more of a better playground for the ADC, for that Aphelios. It's such a versatile ADC on itself, so I'm excited to see how this is going to be played off. But at the same time, Wash U, I would love to see a Sat popping off just to make us eat our words once again, because today has been all about that and about sweeps as well.
I already saw one sweep in our first matchup. Do we have another one in store? I will say, I do think, and I think you even pointed this out, I think New Mexico State kind of, they got back to basics. They, the team isn't that complicated. There's not these many tricky wombo combos. Now, yes, you combine the Glacial Prison, maybe Dark Blaze, Steals, a set alt. There are some things you could do, but at the end of the day, you get Ababa with red plus white. Any fight can be won simply behind this Aphelios alone with the 3 meat shields in front of him. We'll see if he can do that. Dark Blaze runs into a tower there, unfortunately. Has to take the long way around. And we do maybe get a tri-bush meetup here for the side of New Mexico State.
Yeah, they might be the ones to pull this one off, but this time is Wash U being cautious and not even thinking about engaging or putting a ward next to this bush here. I like the respect.
Really just making sure that the Blitzcrank doesn't do anything too tricky. They will opt for the reset. No forward wards by the side of Wash U. Kind of surprised we haven't seen many aggressive wards really from any of our teams tonight. No, none of those deep wards to have jungle tracking. It's been a lot of, waiting. What are we doing here today? This is how you know Smexy plays his character. They know the emote to spam. They're doing crunches in the mid lane. He is ripping them off. My goodness.
My
about
goodness.
30 of them there.
Look at him go. But yeah, it really looks like Wash U feels very comfortable right now. Also, Smexy on their rel, as we mentioned. And I think this is really going to be paying off for a good, interesting game. Because unfortunately, we saw so many. Oh, look. Oh. Oh, the cancelling on the movement motion there. Really funny.
He's switching it up with the skins, too? How many Blitzcrank skins is this, man? No, I would have liked the Super Striker Blitzcrank again. One of my more personal... I am a big fan also of definitely not Blitzcrank, because it's obviously not Blitzcrank.
Yes.
Who is it?
Obviously not.
And it's Halloween. It's spooky season. I feel like you should be required to play definitely not Blitzcrank here. Little bit upset.
Yeah.
Oh! What a hook on to Smexy. The Rel forced to disengage. A little more tanky, though, than the Seraphine. So Smexy will live that rocket grab.
Ah, that was beautiful. And always thank you to our observer here just catching that on the last second that we could watch it. Unfortunately for Wash U, Rel was able to get away from that, just leap away for safety under that tower. But they're pushing a lot. Human Each is right now not that much of a lead on CS. Ababa is doing a better job on Aphelios at this point. They don't seem that afraid because Smaxy is a more tanky option to have as support on your side. So I'm liking it so far. I like it.
We do have, uh-oh, look out, Tortomaster's behind Rex Bellator. Rex Bellator does not see, unfortunately, the Abduct is going to miss, and he's not able to dash in range, get the stun. They do get a follow-up onto Rex, but, oh, if Dark Blaze lands that E, that's probably first blood. You feel just a bit missed for New Mexico State to pick up some big momentum here in Game 2.
Yeah, I really liked that positioning there from Tata Master to go for Rex Bellator, especially since Seth doesn't have that much of an escape option. They had to burn the flash on that one. But looking at this bottom lane, Human Each and Nate are putting the pressure that they know they can do, because just the soul bully that this Blitzcrank has proven to be. So they can just stay in the bush and do nothing, and the enemy is going to be scared. But Moist is going for Dark Blaze. They are, unlike the set champion that has an option for escape, so it doesn't go anywhere. Still, I am very pleased with the rotations coming from Moist and Torta Master both.
Yeah, I think Moist probably just farming up some Chain stacks there, be able to evolve a little bit quicker, just did some damage onto Dark Blaze. We do get this top lane showdown. I'm surprised that Akasha's Sword did not pick the ult up, but meanwhile, Human Each got the exhaust, forced the flash away. Here comes Tortomaster, 5,000, the flash done from Smexy. Are they going to be able to pick up the Kaisa? Yes, they are. First blood secured for Ababa. A huge pickup for New Mexico State in the bot lane.
Beautiful flash and stun from Smexy. You can feel how they are one with this character much more than they were with the Seraphine last game. So it really worked out super well. Torta Master engaging on that one, following up, and not only that, but being able to leave the first blood for Ababa. Super, super nice. As the jungler and support are doing the first Drake of the game themselves, Ababa is following up as they have pushed the lane. Smexy is so low on health, but they can just leap away to safety and guarantee this first buff. So really, really nice coming from New Mexico State in these last few plays.
Yeah, New Mexico State starting off very strong. Similar to last game where they didn't actually have the Volibear pick up the first blood in the top side. So again, not an unfamiliar territory, but the farm, I think the big thing that's looking a lot better. It's really only that jungle difference. There's a 10 CS difference in the mid lane as well, but not nearly as wide as it was last time, and even Arvion winning that top lane matchup. But again, that's something, looking back, I thought maybe for a second Olaf had been banned, but I'm curious that Akasha's Sword went for the Maokai, because he kind of dominated on the Olaf. I don't know if I like this team comp with the Maokai in the top lane too much. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. Well, oh my god, Dark Blaze and everybody from bot lane are jumping on Rex Bellator. Ulti is popped, reverse ulti is popped, and Sat is going to get the kill on Torta Master here. It's turned into a 2v2. Dark Blaze is falling down on health, so is Rex Bellator, but they're able to escape. But a 1-0 trade for WashU Varsity here, Fish.
Yeah, that was great job by Rex Bellator holding onto the Showstopper, waited till Dark Blaze had used the Showstopper on him, then Showstopper's back to safety. That was a really strong play by the set. We're kind of seeing that innate tankiness of the set, maybe why he picked it into Dark Blaze. You don't have to worry about mana. You get a pretty decent health regen with the pit grid as well, so maybe that's why. As here comes Nature's Grass, they're going to try to jump onto this Volibear. He will just simply Stormbringer to safety. But again, more farming for Moist on this Kayn. As you said, probably going to end up going Red Kayn, just trying to build it up as fast as possible.
Yes, they are. And Sejuani Tortamasa here once again. They don't know they have vision. They're going to take out this pink ward and probably just go, yeah, just back to safety. Nothing to worry about. Not even think about an invade. But these hooks are on point every time here, Fish.
Unfortunately, Ababa was able to get out without having to worry about the flash. The bonus armor from that track repel that Spexy has on him made it just a little bit too hard for Human Each to pick up the kill. But Nate really hasn't missed too many hooks. This bot lane just, they haven't been able to farm champions as well. Last game they got a couple of early kills. That put Human Each so far ahead. He was able to kind of hit those thresholds that Kaisa needs to evolve her abilities. This time, CS almost dead even. The kill on Ababa also means that this bot lane for Wash U just a smidge behind.
Yes, it's true. So looking really nice for New Mexico State at this point, and I'm very pleased with that since that was my prediction after all. But definitely the rotation from Totem Master here right now with the bot lane switching with Dark Blaze as well and leaving Rex Bellator against two people in the mid. I'm really liking what they're bringing to the table. Also these 1v1s on the top lane as well. These two juggernauts always fighting each other, but Totem Master is going to make this into a 2v1.
Ooh, nice flash from Akasha's Sword. Moist is here as well, but I think more in a defensive position than anything else. He chooses not to invade, and yeah, Volibear. I don't think anyone's going to kill anyone, but we might have a fight over this Rift Herald. Here comes Moist, here comes Nate. He's looking for a hook onto somebody. Moist gets hit by the Glacial Prison. There's a great grip on a Totem Master. Nature's Chris coming in as well. A huge showstopper for Rex Bellator to get on the first kill. That shield as well. Moist being kited out by Ababa. He's going to go down as well. And all of a sudden, there's only Akasha's Sword left. The big difference in that fight, Sovchan, the 80 carry for Wash U still in the bot lane. Meanwhile, Felios picks up 2 in that fight.
Yeah, that was really incredible. To be fair, at one point I didn't know who was on the lead on that fight because everybody was dropping the low on health so quickly that all of a sudden I just saw 3 members in blue and 1 in red, and I knew what had happened, turning that Aphelios into a 302 champion with a 300 gold bounty for New Mexico State, really building that advantage for themselves as Volibear is taking those placings on the top lane. Yeah, this is looking nice. What do you think would be the next move for Wash U right now? Because not having the lead, they seem to be falling further and further behind.
I do want to see how a full, I mean now, unfortunately, Ababa is going to be so far ahead, it might not be a fair fight, but I do want to see how a full team fight goes out. I think if Human Each was there, that might have been a different fight, as Rex Bellator does take a couple of tower shots, but uses that shield with the Haymaker to be able to absorb most of them. But I want to see a full team fight. I still think Wash U is in this. They just have to find a way to get onto Ababa. I don't know if it's going to be a showstopper from Rex Bellator. I mean, a hook would be the dream, as there's a hook, but it misses. Unfortunately.
It would have been really nice for Wash U at this point. It would have been amazing. The possibility of not only getting that kill on Dark Blaze, but also building more CS leads for Rex Bellator. And the platings on the mid tower would be really great for the red team. Unfortunately, it did not connect, but they guaranteed the Drake themselves there. The Cloud one, so we're not going to have any of those as a soul this time.
Oh, they do get a great jump onto Nate. He is going to be able to walk away, but the Glacial Prison secures the kill onto the support. You do have Moist hanging out if there is a tower dive. That I don't think New Mexico State seems too willing at the moment. They just want to take their 1 kill and continue to maybe look for some plates. Again, if there's a tower dive, Moist is here. He's going to try and jump in. He's got to find his way onto a Bob on the Moonlight Vigil. Going to be used to pick up the kill. They do lose 1 in the process to tower aggro. Meanwhile, mid lane, we've got a showstopper being used. The kill is picked up. Human Each gets through. Oh, no. Oh, no, New Mexico State.
I'm crying. I'm internally crying. Fish, New Mexico. Oh my god. Had no idea Moist was there on the bush, and that turned into a triple kill for Human Each. Exactly what they needed to make this Kaisa grow. They have the Kraken Slayer, and they are coming on par with the Aphelios right now. Oh my god, how did I turn so badly all of a sudden? Unfortunately, the rotations between tower focus didn't work really well for New Mexico State, and they fell just one after the other. Help from the tower and the W's from that Kaisa. So, well, Wash U Varsity, there we go. That's what you guys needed.
3 kills, the shutdown onto Ababa as well, as you mentioned. Just as you said, there was no idea Moist was there, and as soon as he showed his head, you got the kill. You could have just walked away. But they got greedy, and now, not to mention Rex Bellator picking up a solo kill in the mid. He is, much like Bob before him, building quite a CS lead, nearly 40 in that mid lane. And this set is going to become a massive problem. He has the Gore Drinker. He's probably going to go for that more Bruiser set build. He's going to be tanky. He's going to do some damage. He's already 2 levels up on Dark Blaze. My goodness. Rex Bellator, once again, proven set mid's apparently the wave when we cast games, Soapchip.
It looks like so, but here on the top lane, these two are playing against each other once again. Avion dealing damage, but it's just what top laners do. They go in, they slap each other, and then they just go away, farm a little bit, and so on, so on. But definitely, that set and the lead they're building on CS and on those 1v1s alone has gotten them to that God Drinker, as you said. And Dark Blaze right now doesn't even have over half of this first item on their pocket, so they've really fallen behind. But Kane is showing up on his bot lane as well, as the 2v2 turns into a 3v3 with Rex Bellator also arriving TP to join them on this one. The Nate gets the kill on Ababa. Dark Blaze so close to dead, and they fall as well. So big comeback from Washivasti on this bot lane once again, building what they started in just, I don't know, 5 minutes ago.
Rex nearly did kill his teammate. Oh, Nate. Luckily didn't attack, so did not draw tower aggro. Now Rex Bellator going to just punch the tower, try and have some fun with Smexy down there. Meanwhile, Akasha's sword does get frozen up and will be taken down. It doesn't look like that tower dive will be botched, as Rex, nice job using the Haymaker to get that shield. Still takes a couple of shots. And I did say Rex nearly killed his AD carry when he used the Showstopper onto Dark Blaze. It's a bit scary. Rex, you overstayed your welcome. This isn't good. He's going to get the kill with the Haymaker. That's a shutdown going over to Ababa. That's a plus 150 gold up there.
It's a big shutdown for Aphelios, really huge for them. Oh, the flash after the ulti was popped. Unfortunate for Avion, and great for Moist there, guaranteeing a very safe kill on the top lane. Now this game is turning into less than 1,000 gold difference and the same amount of kills on the boardfish.
And again, I mean, we talked about it last time, you know, CS is kind of what the king is. And I mean, you look at top side of the map, it's, you know, almost 40 CS difference for Arvion over Akasha's sword. It's a, you know, lot closer in the bottom lane. I think last time Human each had a 30 plus CS advantage. Now they're basically dead even. It's only that mid lane and that jungle, though the jungle CS, you know, is a little bit wacky as each camp counts for more than just one. But all that gold on a set, I don't think is that scary. So big props to New Mexico State figuring out, much like we saw with Lakeland, figuring out what went wrong, fixing it in game 2. We'll see, just unlike Lakeland, if New Mexico State can pick up the win and avoid the sweep of Smexy. You don't want to be here. And that is a dead horse and rider combination for New Mexico State.
Indeed it is, and it's probably going to translate into this next Mountain Drake for Washu Varsity, as Sejuani is rotating for the Herald. Extra Sword is around the corner, taking out those pink wards. Volibear is arriving to Blitzcrank Kaiser, so this might be a party before they even try to think about getting any damage on the Herald. They're gonna take down this tower for so close to getting a cook on Dark Blaze. That would have been super good for Washu once again, and it looks like they're dominating the bottom and the top river.
This game, though, is a lot closer. As you said, the gold only 300 gold in favor of WashU. They do accidentally reset Rift Herald, but the tiers come out, and that reset actually might be massive, as Mexico State at least showed interest for a bit, but they will end up walking away, handing that one over to Moist. Nate making sure you ain't get lazy with the backs. He will have to run away, but it will be a Herald picked up for WashU and a turret down bot lane for Rex Bellator. And WashU starting to expand their lead across the map.
Yeah, they are. We have 2 turrets, so 1 plus turret for WashU. Same amount of Heralds, 1 plus Drake. So they're starting to build that lead for sure. But there's still so much that New Mexico can do at this point, Fish. There is not only the possibility of 1v1s that can go well for them, not exactly against the SAT, I would say, but maybe Avion versus Aksha could be a good possibility there of 1v1s. And definitely the team fights can be super great for New Mexico State. So I think my recommendation to them would be try not to get picked off. So basically have the wards, have the vision, and be a little more careful with your positioning, because you have that +1 turret down on your side of the map and guaranteeing the farm to grow into a 5v5 situation. It must be the best scenario for them at this point.
And I think for WashU, I think my biggest advice is going to be they just have to plan team fights around killing a Baba, right? He's 524 on the Aphelios. He has the Gale Force. He has the Flash Exhaust. He's going to have a lot of ways to escape. But if Moist can get on the back line, if Rex Bellator can get on the back line, I think they're going to have ways to kind of combo him down. Because right now, you don't really have any other source of damage. I mean, yes, the Volibear is 1-1-4, has quite the CS lead, but he's more of a tank build. Same with the Sejuani. Unfortunately, Darkblaze struggling here a bit in Game 2. Only has 117 CS. Only has that 1 item complete. So I think if WashU can find a way onto a Baba, they can continue to win team fights. But that's going to be a tough ask, again, without an AP range character to find ways onto an AD carry. It's going to have to be a lot of diving from Moist and Rex Bellator.
Yes, it will be, as they're engaging here on the jungle. 3v2 as they get a good knock-up from Smexy onto that player. They're still invincible with the ulti. Moist goes down. They're going on Artane now, while Avion is going on Human Each themselves. Flash onto them is going to guarantee a kill. Maybe not with that ulti, getting some distance plus the flash. I don't think they are safe. They actually survive.
Wow.
Fish madness.
That was a great CC chain on Moist. I mean, he literally could not play the game from 100 to 33%. Yeah. Then had to use the Umbral Trespass just to stay invincible. And now, Baron is the call. Moist is up in 5 seconds, but I don't know if they can stall this long. Darkblaze gonna steal the showstopper in case Rex Bellator tries to go over the wall. There's no blast cone. And I think they're just gonna concede Baron over to New Mexico State.
Yeah, I think they had to concede. I mean, they don't have that many possibilities of trying to steal. Moist wasn't there. You had Kaiser trying to go for the W, but it was not properly timed because the damage was too grand from New Mexico State on that Baron. So really great shout of them to on how they played that fight, but also immediately engaging on that Baron to get that lead on the buff, negating them the possibility to do anything more. Probably, most likely, taking down the turret here, which is hanging by a thread. 30 seconds for next Drake, and I think they're going to be able to get good positioning all throughout the map to set up for a good fight.
You see Nate on the sweeper there. Moist gotta be careful. Huge hook there onto the rail. The showstopper gonna go down as well. Baba dropping very low. He goes down. This is huge. Here comes the Nature's Grasp for the back line. But there's still a ton of damage going out. Rex Bellator will fall. And you just have to wonder if WashU doesn't have the damage as they kill a Baba, but they lose 3 and maybe even more. Human Each gonna get just chased out and die. The fight started perfectly, Sofchant, but WashU just didn't have any range damage.
They did not. Really interesting to see that even though they got a Baba, it was the only death they got. It was the only kill they got on the side of New Mexico State. All of them stayed healthy and alive throughout the whole fight, and I think it comes from the fact that we have a Volibear, we have a Sejuani, we have a Rel, and we have a Silas. None of them are squishy. The Silas might be the most squishy out of these four I just quoted, and Silas can heal a chunk of that HP back. So really nice, even though they didn't have the range, as you said, that Washi was lacking. Even though they didn't have that range because Ababa was already dead, they managed to win this fight. Really nice, but definitely a little discouraging for WashU, since, as you said, it was a very well set up fight for them, and it ended up going so south and turning into a almost 3,000 gold lead. And oh, actually, is the tower on mid lane down? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so 3,000 and a tower. So really good for New Mexico in this one.
And you have to start to wonder, how can WashU win the game at this point? I mean, I know there's still a ton of League of Legends left to be played, but you killed the carry, and then just kind of all fell over to all the tanks that you were talking about. I mean, there's got to be a point where you just don't have the damage. They jump onto Nate. A great Magnet Storm has just allowed Ababa to rip them apart. He finally gets gripped in. The Humble Trespass will be used. Ababa will fall. Second fight in a row. The question is now, can they win it? Tortomaster goes down. That's a huge shutdown for Human each. Meanwhile, Rex Bellator taking the full bear power. The showstopper gets him away and gets him the kill. And just like that, WashU answers the call and claps back with a huge team fight.
It looks like the answer to your question, Fish, was peel for Human each. Peel for the Kai'Sa, peel for the ADC, and allow them to deal the damage because she can. She has the Kraken Slayer, the Phantom Dancer. They have half of the next item as well. They're going to take down this mid turret here, probably rotating, considering the pings, for the top lane as well. And really, the damage was lacking because they couldn't get a safe place for Human each in the previous fight, but this one was incredible. When we thought that Baba was melting everybody down, Human each was melting Ababa down. So really nice comeback from WashU, and I think that's exactly the path that they need to follow to be able to get more and more team fights, leading into more and more objectives into this game.
Baba probably has to be a little more particular on his positioning. Also, it was interesting because that fight took place without Rex Bellator in the fight. He was off 1v1ing Armion, which, interestingly enough, the Volibear was actually winning that fight by quite a bit, despite the 6-3-1 scoreline on this set, the 190 CS. The inability to 1v1 this Volibear could be something we have to keep our eyes on. Because Set, you know, he's kind of their most powerful player right now, and if he can't take on the top laner, that kills your split push. And it puts a lot of question marks in what WashU can really do in non-team fight situations.
Definitely due to the amount of armor this Volibear is stacking, and we know that the Set can deal the true damage, but that amount of armor is just insane, combined with the health that they have and all the things that the Volibear can do with that beefiness. It's not a surprise to me that the Set wasn't able to do much there. But Blitzcrank is arriving, Nate trying to get a pick on someone. It's going to be nice. The weapon from Aphelios as they start engaging onto a new team fight as they're trying to protect this turret. The Haymaker is there on everyone, but it's not enough. They're rocking a little bit lower on health. Rex Bellator, double kill for Human each as they're stacking onto them right now. What happened? It's an ace for WashU Varsity. Probably going to transfer into a lovely uncontested Baron. And Rex Bellator pushing on this mid lane really clean. It might even convert into an inhibitor taken down if Rex Bellator can stay there long enough. Fish? Well, if we had any questions of what they had to do, they're just giving us a masterclass.
Yeah, they have been absolutely phenomenal, I will say. I mean, as this game goes on, I mean, you talk about it all the time for Aphelios, right? It's red plus white. Don't fight if you're the enemy team, and they keep catching a Baba with the wrong guns. I think he had green-white that team fight. He's not able to sustain through all the damage that basically he's being dealt as the whole team jumps on top of him. Great job by Human Each flying in there as well. And yeah, you're right. Wash U putting on a masterclass performance. They get the Baron. They get the Dragon here as well. At least they should. Tortomaster peeks around the corner, but is not going to contest. So now that's Soul Point. 5 minutes. Potentially this tanky team of 3 beef bruisers gets a shield. This Mountain Soul could mean game for New Mexico State. They've got to be very careful that they do not throw away a chance at contesting this Dragon in 4 minutes.
Yes, and with that Baron buff, red team is taking down that tier 2 on bottom. They have hooked one of their players. Tortomaster is in there. They're trying to get as much damage as they can on Human Each, but they're kiting away so beautifully. They end up going down from Silas taking that kill on them. It's going to be Nate taking one of New Mexico State down as well as they're pushing onto this big dive. Avian is gonna get killed too if they follow for this chase, and they do. The dive is there, the turret is down, inhibitor's down, and I think this looks like game since this is ace for WashU Varsity Fish.
WashU Varsity pulling out a game that, I'll be honest, I did not expect 10 minutes ago to be saying WashU pulls off the sweep. Absolute masterclass, as you said, Soph-Chan. A fantastic performance. Rex Bellator ripping out the crunches to end the game. He just pulled out 50. Oh my god, he's still going. Oh my goodness. But as you said, a masterclass on how to play this comp. Had some questions with the set mid. It all works out, and I will say, I do think the one thing I gotta say for New Mexico State is Ababa's gotta just... The Aphelios was great, but there is that intricacy of knowing how to have your gun set up for team fights. The last 2 team fights, he did not have red-white. He had green-white, and then he had red-purple, and you're just not going to win team fights unless you have red-white. And I think if he had red-white, this is going to a game 3, so just the little things you got to figure out there if you're New Mexico State.
Absolutely. And on top of that, I would say the positioning from the ADC on most of the team fights. Like, a couple of points, they were dealing a lot of damage, but they were also in the middle of the team fight. So there wasn't much they could do, especially as an Aphelios. And I think that happened quite a bit in the previous game as well as Misfortune. So definitely an advice there would be the positioning, because in regards to macro, I think they're doing good. They're doing really well. But that micro positioning, those little team fights, staying at the edge of your range to be able to deal damage but not receive damage, might be the one thing that makes a difference for New Mexico. But WashU, as you said, Fish, 10 minutes ago, I was not expecting this turn around, and I was only seeing New Mexico State going for a 3rd game in the horizon.
Yeah, I was, preparing the voice to last for a 3rd game. I was like, New Mexico State's got this, but a big shout out to WashU picking up the win. So a pair of sweeps here for us tonight. Excuse me, and WashU picks up their 2nd win of the season in the Champions Heartland Division. Well, that will do it for us here tonight, Soph-Chan, on the NECC. But I do believe we've got more action going on the mainstream. If you want to check out some more League of Legends, I believe we have a Champions Ontario matchup that's about to kick off. So head over there. But that'll do it for Fish and Soph-Chan. We'll be with you guys next week for more League of Legends action. Have a good one, and see you guys next week.